It's all fun and games till we get into the ring, and then you find out who's softer than Aquafina. If you can't stand the heat, stay away from my arena, cause all I bring is heat. You can call me jalapeno, keep my name out your mouth unless you're trying to sing. Accolades that you get from seeing a champion, belt, trophy, your ring. If you gotta show your bling, then tune in to the ship where we talk about it, man. But if you tune in, you better know it's showtime. And every time he speak, man, he gonna speak his mind. Keeping the straight facts while others, they just assume we're keeping it 100 while faking there's no room. With the livest interviews and the hottest guests, you done dealt with the rest, now roll with the best. But before I forget, let me get back to the script. Introduce you to the host of the ship, Darren Smith.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. We are live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, on Radio Row at the MGM Grand Ballroom. Darren Smith and my guy, Mr. Jordan Tucker. By the way, I was going to get my brother.
Yeah, that's the anthem, man. You got. So since we are here for fight night, Darren, would that be your walkout song? If you walking out to the fight?
Would it be? I don't know. I thought about that. Well, if it's not that, my brother would come up with a new song. One. But yeah, actually, that would be pretty cool. We're live in Las Vegas on Radio Row. Myself and Jordan Tucker, my co-host, with me. We are live for PBC Premier Boxing Championships, first ever pay-per-view, which is going to be held this Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena, live on Prime Video. It is exclusively on pay-per-view. They will have pre-fights that are going to be shown for free on Prime Video. But if you're not in Las Vegas and you go to the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, you're going to be disappointed because the lights are going to be off, the building's going to be locked.
Right.
Everything's taking place right here in Las Vegas. Tuck, I'd ask you about the fight, and I'm going to do that. But, man, we've got to have a comeback today because Vegas kind of kicked our asses last night when it came to the bets last night. There's going to be some furniture moving going on here.
Right. Now, I'll say this, I play roulette. It ended up all right. Play a little roulette, what I'm saying? I walked away. I ain't lose money, but I ain't win no money, man. So I walked away, broke even. So I'm still good on the roulette table.
Yeah, you did do that. Well, the biggest problem is the crap table. We were trying to find a $5 crap table. Didn't have much luck. But again, we're here live in Las Vegas. The event takes place this Saturday night. Pay-per-view begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Again, it is live only exclusively on Amazon Prime Video, which is their first ever, which is why they invited a few of us out here. There's about 10 to 15 of us across the country. They're out here live on Radio Row. But Tuck, before we even get started on these fights, and of course, the main event, it's a double main event. And so what you can look forward to is Tszyu from Australia taking on Sebastian Fundora, and then in the other main event, you'll have Rolando Raleigh Romero taking on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And so we got a chance yesterday, where they came out and worked out for the media, and talked to the people out there. What was your first impression on these fighters? Because I know we got a chance to talk to. I know I got a chance to talk to him, Romero, along with Tszyu during Radio Row Super Bowl. What was your first impression of them?
I think the main thing that stood out was Sebastian Fundora, man. He's a big kid, man. I mean, we could have used him out there, rebounding for the Lakers last night. So the size difference between Tszyu and Sebastian is going to be interesting because I think this is going to be one of the biggest size differences outside the heavyweight, battle. So
because I think he gives 9 inches.
9 inches, man. He's a tall kid, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tszyu actually goes out there and tries to deal with Sebastian kind of keeping on the perimeter with that jab. So, but also, man, Rolly versus Pitbull. I mean, this is a co-main event, and this could have been his own main event. So I know when Pitbull Cruz came out there, I mean, he had so many fans going crazy for him. But then you have Rolly, who's from Vegas. So but it felt like Pitbull was actually the home favorite. Kind of felt like just from yesterday. Now we'll see how that is on Saturday.
It's funny. I was telling my guys this morning in our trade group is that even though it's fight week, it doesn't seem like the excitement, but as you build up to it, as you get closer to the fight, you kind of get that big for that. Now, here in the hotel, there's signage and there's stuff everywhere. They had the ring set up. I mean, it looked good. The presentation looked good on television. Of course, we have a press conference that's going to be taking place in this room. And so we'll be going to it in just a little bit. I think at the top of the hour, we'll have coverage of the press conference here as well, featuring all the fighters on here. And tomorrow we'll bring you the weigh-in as well while we're here. So, but I'll tell you one thing, though, Tuck, the thing that the thing that really caught me off guard, and I don't know if it's more so because of my love of wrestling and some of what you see UFC trying to copy off of WWE is that a lot of these boxers, and I don't know if it's because of a lot of them are foreign with the interpreter, they don't really get. It's really hard for them trying to like sell the fight,
right?
Because they were showing so much sportsmanship and didn't want to really get into the trash talk even through their interpreter, where they were like, well, we're just hoping to have a good fight and give the people what they want like that. I think Raleigh was really the only one. He was just he was using everyday language that we talk, and that was pretty much it. But even then, it was kind of like hard for him to sell. Where you had Leonard Ellerby, Floyd Mayweather's CEO of Mayweather's promotion, who was really trying to sell Raleigh along with the with the card and stuff as well. Which, I mean, I expect it to do well. I hope it does well. So we'll be hopefully back here in May for Canelo, but. Were you? I mean, if you were an average fan and you saw that, did they do enough to sell it for you?
Not yet. If you're just a casual fan, this might not be for you as of yet. Now we got the press conference coming up, and there might be some instigators going on, at the podium, right? But yesterday, and I think that because you had Tszyu, this was originally supposed to be Tszyu versus Thurman, right? Yeah, so Thurman. Since you had a last minute switch, it's not a vendetta versus each other now. For Tszyu's standpoint, I mean, there's a big hurdle to climb because he has to get through Fundora because there's a possibility talking about he can get Terrence Crawford next. So, I think that it's just really just focusing on the opponent. And I think from Raleigh, Raleigh, it's Mayweather's money team. So he kind of added a little bit, but Pitbull Cruz, with him having an interpreter, it wasn't that clash. I mean, honestly, if you look at outside the actual ring, the fans were the ones that were getting riled up. I mean, you saw when, Pitbull came out there, they were getting a little bit more aggressive, with the Mexican, kind of, feeling the vibe because his fans were deep out there. So, I don't think it's going to be one of those grudge match types cards. This is going to be for the pure boxing fan. But if you really like boxing, this is going to be an amazing card because you got a lot of great fights.
And then to build on top of that, and the thing that I enjoy the most, just because they're not big heavyweights, you know they're going to be actually. I mean, Raleigh swore he's going to knock Cruz out.
Right.
Cruz is just like, we'll see what
right.
I ain't gonna lie. Cruz looked like he did 3 to 5.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, Raleigh. You might. Hey.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But look, like you said, I don't know if they exactly sold it, which. Again, but I think the skill, and if you just look at the records and stuff, I mean, Raleigh's only lost one fight. Tszyu is undefeated, 24-0. He's and actually, the good thing is that the main, this card, at least, the main card, you're featuring all four championship fights. So everybody who's fighting is fighting for the title. And Sebastian Fundora is a former interim world championship, world champion from the WBC. So, like I said, so these fights that are going to be taking place, I mean, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a 10-card lineup. And so, I mean, we'll be here from the very beginning of it on Saturday. But I mean, this is this is what it's all about, man. I mean,
So
and the good thing here is that with you making your debut on Prime, you get a chance to showcase and to make yourself a name to the viewing audience for the first time ever.
Yeah, and I think that's big for Tszyu, being the Australian fighter, to be coming over to the mecca of boxing, right? And the mecca of fighting, to come over and really make a name for himself and to do it on Prime Video, where a lot of people have Prime. I mean, we got to have it because we all football fans probably watch it. So we got it, unless you cancel it. So, it's going to be a good opportunity for a lot of these fighters to really go out there and make a name for themselves. So Saturday night, it's going to be blockbuster. I think the energy is going to start to pick up after today, especially here in Vegas. I'm hearing talks about some people flying in, some popular names in boxing. So,
well, Floyd Mayweather, of course, he lives here, but he will be
right at the fight, right?
Saturday, according to Leonard Ellaby when we spoke to him,
on
last week. Now, look, we'll get back to the boxing in just a little bit, but of course, we do talk more than just boxing while we're here. We talk some NBA, college basketball. Of course, the Sweet 16 kicks off later on this evening. We'll get to that in just a second, but of course, I cover the Kansas City Chiefs. My guy Chuck covers the Dallas Cowboys in his spare time when he's not out there.
This is what happens when you get to cover the Chiefs, y'all. You know what I'm saying? He gets to put stuff like that.
Stop that.
You know what I'm saying? He gets to put stuff like that.
Well,
man,
look, it's been almost 30 years for the Cowboys. It's gonna be another 30 years.
I need, you know what I'm saying? See how he flexes. I mean, he walks around in his little Super Bowl ring.
I got you. Hey, but check it out though. But seriously, so a lot of NFL news that took place this week with the owners meeting. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, so we'll talk about it now with our audience. And if you want to chime in, please feel free. We'll put your comments on here, and we'll see.
Hey, what's going on, Sadiqa?
Thank you, and hello, Danielle, and hello, Sadiqa, once again. So this week the NFL made a major change to the way the kickoff is going to be transformed. And of course, they're pretty much taking the model that the XFL utilized on last year, which of course, with the merging of the USFL and the XFL, they decided not to bring it back, which is interesting to say the least. But with that being the case on the kickoff, what are your thoughts on it? Basically, the owners approved it. I think they approved it unanimously. But now during this upcoming season, Tuck, kickers will continue to kick from the 35-yard line, but the other 10 players on the kickoff team will line up on the other side of the field at the receiving team's 40-yard line. At least 9 members of the return team will line up in a setup zone between the 35 and 35 lines, and then up to 2 returners can return in a landing zone between the goal line and 20-yard line.
Mixed emotions, right? Because there's a part of me that's happy that you're gonna get some form of the kickoff return back into football, but it's gonna be a huge Michael. That's my guy, Mike. It's going to be a huge disadvantage, I think, for the kickoff team, right? Because, for someone who's played special teams to get the opportunity to build up downfield, because one, you cannot take off until the receiver actually has the ball in his hand. So that's going to be a disadvantage as well. So, at the NFL level, for the Cowboys standpoint, right, we have a Kevontae Turpin, like those smaller guys, like a Tyreek Hill, like one crease and cut, and they're off to the races. And so it's going to create some excitement. I get what some fans are saying, but for me personally, if you're going to bring the kickoff back, just bring the kickoff back. I know that the NFL is trying to do things for player safety, but is it really about player safety? Probably not.
Well, I'm going to give you some pushback. I think some of it is player safety because if you look at it from how it took place in the XFL, they had a lot of returns. You didn't really have you didn't have a lot of injuries because, one, the players don't have that much of a head start as it relates to, on their sideline, trying to blast somebody. And then second of all, they're really hoping to increase offensively the scores and stuff like that. Now, granted, I don't know how much work it does more for special teams to try to come up and create stuff or on the defense, because on the defense side, when you're kicking, when you're trying to, after you kick the ball off, whatever, you're pretty much trying to make sure that they don't get, obviously a good return. Now, my question is on that, the flip side, I guess the question was the question. Are you, if you're, let's say you're Dave Tobe for the Chiefs, and just scored a touchdown, are you looking to kick the ball and just force them to have a touchback? Or, or depending on, are you kicking it in the hopes that they return it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to get the touchback because honestly, I think that you're going to see an increase of kickoffs being returned under this new rule. Now, me personally, just from a football fan perspective, like the kickoff return, it was big and exciting because you didn't see it as frequently. So when it happens, it's like, there he goes, he's off to the races. So it brought a lot of excitement to it. But if you see it more frequently, it's just going to be like, and it could definitely change the course of a game, especially depending on the team that you have back there. So for me personally, I'm kicking it out of bounds and not letting teams return it, because if you do, like I said, because you're not going to have that second layer of defense, because one simple cut, one simple crease, and these returns can be off to the races.
This room is kind of filling up right now with the press. We'll give you a little peek on the on what this thing looks like
on the other side. As we gear up for Tszyu versus Fundora, and Raleigh versus Pitbull.
And look, when you look at the, let's see if we can share this here. When you look at it from, okay, all right, here we go. So when you're able to look at it, Tuck, and we see about this kickoff again. A lot of it is basically because you want to decrease the number of concussions. Mm-hmm. But I think about it, we were here for the Super Bowl, and now, because it's been almost 2 months, I'm trying to remember.
Right.
I don't think there were any kickoff that were returned in that Super Bowl. So literally last season, last playoff was probably the last time we will experience the kickoff as we know it now. Now, of course, the way that this rule change happened, this is on a 1-year probation, trial and error to see if they, if they decide to stick with it or not. But I mean, this is, I think for fans, if you got a chance to watch the XFL, and I did not, admittedly, I did not watch the XFL last year. But if you're a fan of it, if you understand and you got a chance to watch it, then there is a very strong possibility that it could be a game changer for offense.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a game changer. I mean, we haven't talked about the other rule change, but you're seeing a lot of rules being adjusted to really favor the offense. And you see players online, they're kind of forcing, their opinion about it. I mean, talking about the hip drop tackle, right? So it's just like you see some of these players like, what are we supposed to do? Right now, you can't sack the quarterback. You can't put your body weight on him. If your hand hits his helmet, so there's so many different disadvantages for defense. I don't know. I know that the NFL thinks that, offense is what sells tickets and gets people excited. And it's what they're trying to go to. But it ruins the game that we love. I'm saying? Some of us are old school. Like, I like to see a gritty defensive game, but granted, maybe they're trying to just make it more easy to digest for some of the Swifties.
Look, man, but seriously, so we look at the other change that you talked about, the big change in the hip drop for defenders. It will be a 15-yard penalty if it's flagged and called. And now there were actually some other rules that were taking place as well. So like if the offense gets a penalty prior to them turning the ball over, something like that gets tacked on as well. So one of those, what do you call it, a personal fouls or whatever, that will get tacked on versus just taken back and getting switched over, just getting flipped over for the defense. But when you look at the hip tackle, there were a lot of players that talked about it. And the video that they utilized, I think came from the Chiefs. I think it might have been Justin Reed. I think that they try to use video footage on, but I mean, look, I get it if you're a defender because you're kind of limiting the way you can tackle somebody. But I see what the NFL is trying to do because, the players that are getting injured the most from that, are, I guess, I don't want to just say star players, but a lot of key players. But I mean, Mahomes got hip tackled when he had the ankle injury 2 years ago when against Jacksonville. Shout out to Bobby Stroup. You know what I'm saying? He was able to, get Mahomes back in order for that 1 week, before
not to cut you off, but here comes the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora right there walking through, so you can see how tall he is. Okay. Yes, you can see how tall he is, y'all.
Yeah, we'll get a chance to talk to Sebastian in just a second. It looks like.
So.
Oh man, so we'll. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll talk to Sebastian soon. It might not be right now, but we will speaking to the PR people. He will be over here imminently, if not right now. But going back to this hip drop stuff, Tuck. I mean, if you're a defender, I guess you're asking, Well, what more can I do?
Right.
Because if I'm a cornerback or a safety and I'm trying to bring down Travis Kelce, I mean, now it's like, do I have to go down to his knees? Try to take his legs out from under him. But even then, you can either, you can jump over him, or you can hurt yourself in that manner as well. So I guess if you're a defender, how are you going to try to, adjust this rule change? Because you don't have a choice.
Right. And I think that's the frustrating part from the that can change the course of a game. So like you said, a 15-yard penalty, you stack that on top of another play, that's almost a 30-yard swing possibly. So for me personally, I am not a fan of it. Now I'll say this because like one of the players they also talked about, you mentioned Pat Mahomes, they used Tony Pollard, as the case as well. Got here versus the 49ers in the playoffs, right? So it's going to be up to the officials to get it right. And we know how they are sometimes on a bang play. You have large people moving at a high pace and a high speed. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to do more damage than it's actually going to do good, but we'll sit back and see. But the game is definitely changing. The NFL that we set back and we've always watched is definitely changing, and we're going to sit back and see. Because me personally, I would like to maybe experiment, with the kickoff rule, maybe try it in preseason a little bit more, and kind of work it out. But we'll see. We'll see.
One of the reasons, of course, that these rules are changing because, and I told people that they just didn't want to believe it. 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be that long. All right. So looks like we'll be talking to Sebastian Fundora in just a quick second when he finishes his hit next to us. But Tuck, one of the things that I'm noticing is that the league and the scoring has dipped over the last 3 to 4 seasons, and because I think the highest it was like 47 points. I think a total 47 points per game. I think 3 to 4 years ago, and it's dipped since then. I think it dipped down to 42, 43 on last year. So because of that, I can see why, the NFL is trying to implement these changes and stuff like that. So scoring can, and look, I mean, for people who bet and gamble like myself, saying those extra points matter. And so, I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, it's something that, especially if you're a defender, you're not going to like it. If you're a defensive coordinator, it's going to make you work a little, that much harder in trying to, help your squad out, help your team out. But I mean, at the end of the day, what I've always noticed and what I've always said, billionaire owners are going to get the rule changes that they want, or going to get the things that they want, regardless of what the players say, what the fans think, or anything like that. It's changes inevitable, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, and we'll see. Like I said, it's definitely going to change. Football is going to look a little bit different. But, I think that, if they don't get it right, there's going to be a lot of fans that's kind of voicing their frustration because we see what's going on with the sacks. Like, even with the sacks, I don't know what's a sack, what's a penalty. I don't know anymore. Sometimes you just got to kind of hope for the best.
There were some other rule changes, too. It talked about the officials are going to have some input from the replay assistant as well as it relates to certain fouls that are going to be called or that can be called. And then the quarterback getting out of the pocket, those type of deals will also be reviewable as well, whether or not he got a pocket when he, throws the ball and stuff like that. So want to hit one other subject before we bring Sebastian over with. I'm curious as your thought. The NFL last year played 3 games on Christmas Day, which was on a Monday at the time. Was it on a Monday?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was on a Monday. This year, due to leap year, it's going to be on a Wednesday. The NFL this week at the owners meeting voted to have football games, have a doubleheader on Christmas Day. Now, the league who's not going to like it the most, obviously, is the NBA because that's usually their day where they, market and have 5 or 6 games on throughout the day. Last year, they got crushed in the ratings where the Chiefs game was the highest game of the day It had like 29.7 million viewers. And actually all three games were great games. Did the Cowboys didn't play?
I'm trying to remember, was it Christmas Day or Christmas Eve? The Dolphins.
No, it was the Chiefs Raiders.
We were Christmas Eve, maybe.
Okay, it was Chiefs Raiders. I know it was Baltimore and San Francisco, the night game on ESPN, and for some reason it might have been Eagles and it might have been Eagles. It was the Eagles and somebody else. It could have been the Giants on that.
2 years ago, the Cowboys played on Christmas Day because they played Philly.
Well, that was on a Sunday.
Yeah, Philly. Yeah. So I think last year the Cowboys played on Sunday versus the Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah. So the Chiefs played on that one. So again, but because they averaged about 28 million viewers, the NFL's like, damn, that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of viewership. Now, on top of that, again, they're not going to do a triple header because for whatever reason they said it was less views, which was crazy. It was 27 million views on cable at that. Not on regular, but on cable. You talk about they had less views, so they're only going to do a double header this time. Now comes news that today they're going to auction off those two games on Christmas. Which, if you're CBS and you're Fox, you're pretty pissed because why am I auction the air a game that's supposed to be airing anyway?
Right.
That's already in my package.
Right.
Games, but now it looks like the NFL might start off because of what the money that they made, and of course we'll talk about that as well. The money that they made last year on Peacock for the playoff game, they made 100. I think Peacock made like $110 million. And I don't know if that's based off the subscriptions, and I believe that is. But what they made on now, I don't know how much it cost for them to air that game because I guess it was an NBC game that went to Peacock, so it could have just been all profit because it's not costing NBC any more money than what they would already do. You just flip it and put it on Peacock and making people pay for it. So now, with that being said, you've got them trying to auction off where they maybe try to do $50 million to air the Christmas game. Maybe $100 million just because that they because of what Peacock made, and then of course Amazon is going to air a wild card game. Amazon is going to air a wild card game this year exclusively, and Peacock is going to air the first Friday NFL game, which is the second game of the year, where the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be playing in Brazil.
Yeah, well, I think with the NFL is going where the money resides, and when they found it out is that, hey, there's a lot of different television markets, streaming markets, that is going to give them the opportunity to boost their revenue, and it's going to be open season, so it's going to be interesting to see how things played out, because like you said, if I'm supposed to have the game, why do I have to bid on it? Well, because yesterday's price is not today's price, so we'll see. Now, me personally,
I get that part. But damn, I've already paid for the game.
Right. Yeah. We'll pay a little bit more, Darren. You know what I'm saying? Pay a little bit more. Now, me personally, from a fan perspective, I don't like Christmas games. I always felt like Thanksgiving was for football, and basketball was more Christmassy. Because I tell you, having the Cowboys versus Eagles on Christmas Day, a rivalry game, I couldn't enjoy my holiday. And even last year versus how the game fared with the Dolphins.
You sat right there and watched the game and probably played. Why did you couldn't enjoy your holiday?
Because I was so stressed out. I couldn't. I went to that game. I went to that game when they played in Dallas, and I was on edge all day.
How was that the Chiefs game? And they lost.
We was on edge. We was on edge.
All right. So right now we're going to be joined by Sebastian Fundora. He can sit right there. Sebastian Fundora.
How's it going? Good.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
thank you. Yeah, he's good.
He's fine. He's good there. All right, and so. He is in the main event of the fight this week, and with us, turn the camera facing him. So,
here we go.
All right, and joining us right now, we have Sebastian Fundora out of Coachella, California, 21-1 with 13 knockouts, former WBC interim world champion. Sebastian, thank you so much for joining us today. We are out of Kansas City. Give us your thoughts on your being in the main event. I know they contacted you after the injury to Keith Thurman, but with this opportunity and the chance to get the title, how are you feeling?
This is a big opportunity. I got this call 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. I was doing the fence with my father on our farm, and they said, "Hey, Keith Thurman got a bicep injury, and the card can be shut down. Are you willing to save the card and fight Tszyu?" And that was before they even mentioned the 2 belts and all that. I was like, we're like, oh heck yeah. Our promoter gave us 10 minutes to think about it. But as soon as my father hung up the phone, he said, we looked at each other. We smiled. We're like, nah, hell no. We got to take this. We got to take this. And,
so they didn't even offer you a number. Like, we're going to pay you this much. It was just like, you want to get a chance
and
to fight?
exactly. Those things came after.
Got
But just the fact that we're headlining here in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, people like Canelo fight here. The big fights. You got Spence versus Crawford, fights like that. Those are big, big fights. I get a headline right here. Hell yeah, I'm going to take it.
You get to add your name to it. Now, we were just talking a little bit earlier. It's a 9-inch height difference between. How does that work in your favor, and how do you feel like it might work against you fighting Tszyu?
If you've seen the way I fight, I don't really use my height. Some people say that I don't use my advantages. I don't use my reach. I like to fight on the inside. I like to give people entertainment. But we'll see what he brings. We'll see how comfortable we are with what he brings and how we're going to fight this because, he's a talented fighter, but we plan on becoming world champion Saturday night.
And Sebastian, you mentioned your father. He's your trainer. How important is it to have him by your side in your biggest fight thus far in your career?
This is a big deal. This is a big deal. My sister became a world champion 6 months ago. So if I become a champion this Saturday night, I think he's in the runs for trainer of the year. He has to be because both of his kids he raised obviously since they were born, but in the sport of boxing, he trained them the whole time. So to take them all the way to world championship level, that's big.
What was something that he instilled in you and your sister at a young age to get you guys to this level and train you to be such a world-class fighter?
I think it's just the respect between us. A lot of people say that father-son duo or the daughter-father duo doesn't work with sports. But, as long as you respect your parents, you respect your elders, respect's a big thing. It's in life, but in boxing as well. And we have it with him. So that's definitely one thing that he drilled into our brains.
You got 13 knockouts. Now, when you say that you try to fight on the inside, why do you feel like you don't use your reach to your advantage?
It's just what I'm comfortable with. Sometimes I feel safe. A lot of people say that I shouldn't be fighting inside because, of course, I get punched in there. But, that's what I like. I like to entertain people. I feel comfortable there. I feel like the punches don't come as hard as in the inside.
With you only having 2 weeks of when you got the phone call, were you already training for a different fight, or were you training in general before you got the fight, or did you? How are you physically as you lead up to the fight on Saturday?
We were actually on the card. We were already on the card. We were the opener for the pay-per-view event. We were fighting for the vacant WBC with a Ukrainian called Tszyu. He's a right-hand fighter. He's a come-forward fighter, and he throws a lot of hard punches. So all these things fit similar with Tszyu. The only thing different with Tszyu is that Tszyu's 5'8". This guy was 6'1". So that makes a difference, the height. But other than that, we've been ready. We've been training hard. This is an opportunity we have to take.
Now, there's a lot of talk about Tszyu possibly fighting Terrence Crawford after this fight. Do you feel like you get to play the spoiler of that fight and ruin that moment for him? Or are you just focused on just the next step and the opponent that's in front of you on Saturday night?
Of course, I'm focused on this fight. This is my way to become world champion. But from what I read online, the winner of this fight gets to fight Crawford. So it's not him.
Yeah, just not him.
It's either or. And of course, Crawford, I think he's the best fighter in the world right now. So if I can get a fight with him, and if I can get a win off of him, where's that going to put me in the history of boxing?
Sebastian Fundora, he is in the main event of the PBC main event card. Tszyu versus Fundora live this Saturday night from the T-Mobile Arena, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. local time. Of course, also on the main event, you have Rolando Romero taking on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Sebastian, I got to ask you, you were former WBC interim world champion. You already have a taste of what it's like to be world champion, and obviously, you lost it when you were defeated. How does that hunger come back to make sure that come Saturday night, you walk out victorious?
It's just that feeling. Once you get to the top, you don't want to ever go back down. It's a long way to the top. So to fall back down to a level, it's something you don't want to be. The next time I go back down is when I retire.
Perfect.
And that's what I want.
All right, last question.
All right. So what do people expect on Saturday night from Sebastian Fundora?
Expect the best Sebastian Fundora. Expect another champion crown, another Fundora crown that's champion.
Another one.
You know, so it's gonna be a great night. I hope you all tune on Saturday.
Hey, he's got some good odds on him too. Hey, we saw him yesterday. Best of luck to you, Sebastian.
Best of luck.
And
Thank you so
I know
much.
you got the press conference coming up. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you.
Sebastian
Anyway.
Fundora, again, he is in the main event of the WBC and WBO World Super Welterweight title fight. Going 12 rounds, hopefully, this Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena, live on pay-per-view on Prime Video. Tuck, I mean, we got a chance to talk to him, man, so your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Like I said, good kid, good head on his shoulder. He comes from a boxing DNA. But he's going to have a tough opponent. You know, he's going to tough opponent, but I think he's going to go out there and put up a fight. He doesn't seem afraid. And for me personally, if I was training, I would tell him use that size to keep that distance, you know, but don't get too close because Tszyu definitely has that knockout finishing power with 17 knockouts. So, you know, me personally, don't get too close, but I feel like he's going to be able to go out there and put on a show. You know, we'll see. We'll see how the chips fall. But that's interesting that he's thinking that, you know, possibly he can get the Terrence Crawford prize as well, because that's the real, I don't want to say big fish, you know, that's the big fish, but, you know, Terrence Crawford's the ultimate prize to get that fight. So we'll see how things fare on Saturday night.
Yeah, again, we are live inside the MGM Grand Ballroom. The MGM Grand Arena is literally right outside the door here behind us. But we got the press conference coming up in just about 20 minutes here. Again, we'll bring some live coverage. We'll dip in and out of the press conference when it begins here in about 15 minutes. So it's a quarter to 1 o'clock here. It's a quarter to 3 o'clock back in Kansas City, where we are from. And man, I'm just looking at out here, man. You know, starting to fill up a lot of press here. You know,
I hope they didn't kick my laptop out the way.
I hope not either. Now, look, now it's funny because I'm waiting to see when Leonard Ellaby shows up in. You know, what other kind of jumpsuit?
Yeah,
you know, probably kind of, you know. I think
that's the money team, man.
Yeah, but when he interviewed with us last week, I think it was white or cream. Yesterday it was brown. Like, man, you know, bro, you killing it. Like, it's just a sweatsuit, but
it's a fly sweatsuit, man. It's a fly sweatsuit, man.
It's a pretty expensive,
high
quality.
Oh yeah, man. I like the sweatsuits. We had Nike sweaters last year. We were burning up in there, man. Leonard was cool as a fan in his sweatsuit.
It was cool, man.
Yeah, the texture's different.
Coming out of Kansas City, it was 29 degrees.
Right.
You get here at 72, like, and wanted to change, but really didn't have a chance to. So, yeah. But shout out to Fundora for stopping by and talking to us.
Big moment for him.
Yeah. And look, let's talk back to the NFL, man. It's election day coming up in Kansas City on Tuesday, and I know Mark Donovan had a chance to. Mark Donovan, along with one of the Shermans, got a chance to talk with the media on yesterday. It was after I had flown out, so I'm hoping. Waiting to hear back from the Chiefs to see if I can speak with Donovan tomorrow as we get ready for the election on Tuesday. But, of course, according to Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk, the Chiefs are cautiously optimistic the vote on April 2nd will extend the sales tax, will pass. But, you know, in 5 days, we'll find out between the Chiefs and the Royals. Now, you live on the Kansas side, so no, it really doesn't affect you either way. But I do live in Jackson County. I do live in Kansas City. I do have my feelings on it. I'm trying to wait until I talk to Mark Donovan to really discuss it. But being that this is what we do, you know, I'll be happy to discuss it if folks want to know. But your thoughts on this vote? You know, for me personally, I don't like handing out free money to billionaires. Like, you got the money, you can do what you want to do. However, politically, I also know, you know, what can and what will happen if it doesn't pass. Now, they can finish out their lease. They, you know, but we've also seen where a team left before his lease is over with, i.e. the Los Angeles Rams, and moved to another city and just pay whatever fine or whatever they had to pay to get what they want. Now, I don't see Kansas City Chiefs or the Royals leaving this area, but they could move from the Truman Complex where they're at now to Kansas City, Kansas, or, you know, some other place. So if you're a voter, how would you vote on Tuesday? And why?
It's difficult, right? Because we're the ones being impacted as the voters, right? And that's your hard-earned money. And like you said, giving billionaires more money.
But let me say this. this tax is what they're already currently paying.
Okay.
So it's not a new tax. It's just continuing
to pay
the tax that's already there. Now it's essentially $3.58 off of every $100 that you're
okay.
paying.
Oh,
No. I mean, it sounds like it's not a lot, but
it adds up, right?
It adds up. That's why it is what it is. But I guess I want to make that, because I know a lot of people are making the distinction if it's new or if it's old. But look, we're already paying for it. If you ain't paying taxes, you don't
right.
So
right.
And
pay your taxes.
I see my guy Robert Bryant. Appreciate you, brother. Love you big time. Says he's voting for it, bro. It's going to bring so much value to the inner city. You wouldn't even know you're being taxed. And that's something too. It's like, because you're being. We're paying tax for something for stuff that you have to
no benefit of.
Look, man, we're here in Las Vegas, and for people who were here during the Super Bowl and stuff like that, they were price gouging.
Oh
and we talked about it yesterday, and
they still do it.
And the thing is, they price gouged so much, and they were so effective with it. They never lowered the prices,
right?
Because they figured we got these people to pay for. Why the hell we gonna lower it? Why are we gonna lower the price?
Right.
So when we're here, we go to the food court, and wings, 5 chicken strips and fries cost you $23.
Right. Yeah.
And so
it happens. It happens everywhere. I mean, in Arlington, it happened when they built that stadium. So, I think what he's saying, like Robert was saying, it's like the benefit would be to keep the Kansas City Chiefs on the Missouri side, keep them home, build around it. I know they're talking about, building like a new complex, kind of like a P&L type thing over there as well. So, me personally, I would vote yes, to pay the extra tax to keep my home team home. But on the other side of the coin, I mean, come over Kansas City, Kansas.
Well, here's what's interesting because I cover the Chiefs, and so I try to be somewhat neutral because because my feeling is that I don't want them, again, because it was already a tax that was voted on 20-some years ago and it's passed or whatever. And, now the thing is, we would have had 2 different taxes had the other one passed, but we would have had the rolling roof.
Right.
Didn't get that. But they've been, keeping. I mean, everything has been working out fine now. I don't really feel like Kauffman Stadium is dilapidated or anything like that. I think it's perfectly fine because they're playing a game there, I believe, today. I think the opening day is today out there. But one thing I do know, being owners will get what they're going to, because if you don't pay for it, somebody else will.
Somebody else will.
And because look at Oakland, losing the Raiders. Look at St. Louis,
right?
Losing the Rams. I mean, you don't want to. I mean, San Diego losing the Chargers. You don't want to be in that scenario. Now, what works in the Chiefs' favor is that they're 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. You got Mahomes, and so you're in a scenario where you got things working for you where it's going to be really hard for the people to climb. The problem is you got the Royals on the flip side. The Royals have been bad.
Right.
And then the people still, and it's still the mindset of you really don't need to be leaving where you're at.
Right.
To go. But, I mean, and look, and shout out to the architects on the people who designed and built those stadiums back in 1970 or 72 or whatever, because these stadiums, I mean, like I said, whatever renovations the Chiefs are going to do with the add-ons, it's not really going to change the structural nature of Arrowhead Stadium. They're just probably going to add some stuff onto it.
Right.
But the Royals, looking at everything, putting it down in the crossroads, you're going to be having, I think I think the Royals are going to be responsible for anything over a certain amount. I think it's going to be over $1 billion. I think that they're going to take care of all the overruns and stuff like that. Again, it's hard for me to complain because I cover the team. I don't have to pay. I get free parking, stuff like that.
Right.
But I think about the people who aren't as fortunate as myself that has to pay. I want to make sure that no matter what happens, where they go, that they don't get themselves priced out. Being able to
it's unfortunate, right? From a Dallas Cowboys fan perspective, a lot of the real diehard fans are priced out. And they can't afford to go to games anymore and pay $200 for parking and different things like that. So, the Chiefs are the best, and I said this often, right? The best fan base in the world. You would hate to see that luxury start to creep in Arrowhead Stadium, where the real people who really bleed, red and yellow, not be able to afford to go games anymore. So,
and the good thing is, now the Chiefs and the Royals did come up with the community benefits agreement that they agreed on last week. Now, people talking about whether or not it would be, something that would be enforceable. I know that they turned that into the legislature, Jackson County legislature. I believe that they voted on it this past Monday. So that would be the agreement that if the vote passes, that they'll, fall back and rely on. So there are, and look, if they say that they're going to reinvest, I think $250 million into the community.
Right.
I'll have to take them at their word for it. One, because my pastor was one of the folks that worked on the benefits agreement, so I know he ain't gonna lie.
Right, he ain't gonna lie to you, right?
And he's deep with this political stuff, so he knows because actually he's the one that authored the 3A sales tax anyway. So so that's so it's kind of hard for him to not know what's going on because he's the author of this type of stuff back in the day.
All right, well, I'm gonna go switch roles. We can get ready for this press conference.
We'll let you switch when they actually started. But Robert Brown said they have pushed our downtown area all the way to 31st and Woodland. Value of houses that are owned by the community will have significantly higher value. Plus, our downtown will be so dope, it's unreal. Kansas City is on its way to being a major city. We will be in the running for future bowl games, etc. Think Parade Park was just bought for $271 million. It's going to happen. Okay, well, that's woo, a lot of money, man.
A lot of money, man. Lots of money.
Tuck, look, man. Again, we're here in Las Vegas, live at the MGM Grand Ballroom Center, getting ready for the press conference between Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, along with Rolando Romero and Isaac Pitball Cruz, along with some of the other fighters on it. So we'll bring you live coverage in just a little bit. You see something right quick. So I don't think you have to because I think we'll just stream from PBC's.
Oh, you're gonna do it that way. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that way.
All right, well, let me go get mine still.
Oh, you think somebody's gonna take your stuff?
I don't know. I don't. All right. Well,
hey,
I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna trust you, man.
First of all, we have some of Las Vegas or Clark County's finest in here. Nobody's gonna walk off with your stuff. I can assure you that.
All right,
so
cool.
I think PBC got some money to
reimburse you. I need a new MacBook.
We'll get you the most expensive one. Look, so college basketball is tonight. The Sweet 16 begins tonight. I've got a nice little. I think I sent it to you. How many legs was it? I think it might have been a 20 leg.
20 legs, bro.
25.
Oh,
it was a long way, but I think about doing the 8-leg parlay tonight for tonight's men's college basketball games. The games tip off, I think it's 6:00 Eastern. Thank you very much, R&B. Appreciate you, brother. And I've been enjoying Vegas. Now, you want to send something this way? Now, I can play some bets out it for you. My guy, how you doing now? So, got the Sweet 16. We got Clemson against Arizona tonight. That's on CBS. You got San Diego State against UConn on TBS. Alabama, North Carolina, CBS, and then Illinois at Iowa State. Now, Iowa State, of all teams, especially because they won the Big 12 and just, their folks travel. I don't think people really realize because of Kansas City how close they are, but they had a real big audience last week. And shout out to the food staff here. They served the
great food, great brisket and chicken was fire, and the mac and cheese was good too.
3 cheese mac and cheese. So want to make sure we thank them for their hospitality so far. But we're looking at this Sweet 16, the first half of the games. Which game are you most looking forward to and why tonight?
Yeah, I think the one I'm looking for, really the honestly closest one, is probably going to be Iowa State versus Illinois. I feel like that game can go either way. That's one game I didn't touch and include my parlay. I said I want no parts of it because I feel like Illinois is playing well as right now. But, they won the Big 12 with Iowa State, so it's going to be a competitive game. I think that's the most competitive game on today's slate. But also North Carolina versus Alabama. I think that's going to be a sneaky good matchup as well. I know North Carolina's battle tested, but Alabama's playing really good basketball right now. So,
Clemson played well last week.
Clemson as well. In Arizona, they're up and down. You never know what Arizona team's going to, show up. So, for all my sports bettors out there, when you get to the Sweet 16, it gets a little bit more difficult. You have to work a little bit harder.
I'm not going to lie, man. I've got an 8-leg parlay that I've got, as I showed you yesterday with the all bets and stuff like that I'm looking to do. The game that scares me the most is a UConn game because because they don't even have them losing. Like even if you do an all bet, it's like -2.5. Like that's the best,
super favorite.
And we see Sean Porter in here as well. So, but when I look at this, man, I mean, that UConn game. Look, I've always said that once you get to the Sweet 16 Elite 8, this is when you think the games are going to be much, much tighter to where if you do an alt bet like that, it should, especially when it comes to the spread, should hopefully work out in your favor. Now, that's how I did my FanDuel before I left because we can't do FanDuel out here in Kansas City where I did some for the first half and for the game and stuff as well. But for this, man, what kind of bets did you put in for tonight's game?
So as of right now, to lock in, I think I have UConn, of course. My UConn, North Carolina. I took Illinois and Arizona. But me, I'm born. I'm a born sport. I do my. I know what I'm saying. I gotta get my money back from last night that the Raptors called me. So I'm doing all straight. It's straight. You know what I'm saying? Straight, no chase, as they say. Try to get my money back, man, so we can get back to even. But
so I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to check and see. I'm definitely gonna have to. Tell you because I've got to get some of that back.
We're gonna get it back, man. I'm in good spirits today, man. We're gonna get this money back. But if not, I got extra chips in my back pocket. I want to go back to roulette. So yeah, man, we're gonna have some fun out here in Vegas, man. Salute to the MGM Grand for hosting us, one of my favorite hotels out here. And as y'all can see, clearly it's starting to pack up as we get prepared for this press conference. But tonight, it's going to even come alive even more, man, because it's the March Madness, sports betting, Las Vegas. It gets crazy in the sports book, man.
So you've done it before, but what I'm going to do for the first time, I'm going to watch, and I think we're probably going to watch March Madness again, but we'll probably watch it in the sportsbook room. But again, I don't know if that's good for me because it's like for a gambler and that I do more sportsbook now than I do the crap table. It's like I don't know because I don't want to be chasing after it because I did that last night with Klay Thompson.
But see the difference. His
ass had 9 points in the half and only had 4 points in the second. Like, dude, what are y'all doing out here in these streets?
But the good thing about sports betting, I tell people this: you get a full hour and a half before you lose your money versus roulette and blackjack. It goes just like this. So at least you get some hope. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always get hope in the second half that we're gonna bounce back and come back. Yeah, but when you play at the tables, it's just like money's gone, man. So yeah.
Which again, I'm 20 the way because if the table is hot, it's cool. But man, that's why I be trying to find a cheaper table because it's $25 tables. Things add up, and if you ain't on a good roll, you can't get a good roll. You're in trouble, man, because that money go quick, and you got to go right back to the ATM and it's $8.99 fee. No, man, I ain't trying to do all that.
Looks like the press conferences are getting underway.
I'm gonna try to see what we can find. But in the meantime, I got to ask you, man, we haven't had a chance to talk on our other show about free agency and what has been expected and what has been done so far. Now, I'm gonna start with you and the Cowboys because you really ain't done much.
Did nothing.
And Jerry Jones was all about this, we all in type stuff. Talk to me, man. Why, what's going on with the Cowboys?
I mean, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And there's a lot of Cowboys fans, rightfully so, that's extremely frustrated how the front office has handled things. I mean, you had Derrick Henry come out and speak out, on a podcast that the Cowboys didn't even reach out. We're losing, not only like we're not making additions, Darren, but we're losing players for cheap value. We see the price that Tyron Smith went for. It was minimal that he got the Jets. A bunch of incentives included in his contract. Then we lose Jonathan Hankins, our big physical run-stopping nose tackle, for a difference about $500,000. Well, then it comes to find out, our other nose tackle, Monty Smith's going to be out with shoulder surgery for 4 to 6 months. So, a lot of head-scratching moves when it comes to the Cowboys. Nobody really understands what's going on right now. People are visually frustrated. I'm frustrated. The only outside addition we had was Eric Kendricks from the Chargers, who we actually had to pull away from the 49ers. So that's right now we ain't did nothing. So it's an F-. It was an F- overall when it comes to the Cowboys. And the only thing we can really hold our hat on is hopefully that we hit in this NFL draft coming up.
All right, so hopefully we'll get Sean Porter. He recognizes us, so hopefully he'll stop by and join us here on Radio Row while we're they see we have water behind us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be getting some of that. I didn't sit there in the camera. I ain't paying attention because sitting there talking about sports, and I forgot all about the water being. Let's dip in right quick to the start of this. Let me see if I can find it right quick on their YouTube channel. Oh wait, doesn't look like they're.
That's it.
This is it. A chance to check into that, man. Again, we're live here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Ballroom, and let's get you all take a peek in right quick and show you what they've got going on. On our pay-per-view card, our main event features unbeaten rising star from Australia, Tszyu, headlining here in Las Vegas for the first time, going head-to-head against the towering Inferno, Fundora, also on the line today. Eastern 5 Pacific time from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. If you are looking to make your way here to the fighting capital of the world, tickets are available AXS.com, or you can watch PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. What a night of action that we have as PBC kicks off their 2024 campaign with a bang. 4 World Championship fights on our pay-per-view card. Our main event features unbeaten rising star from Australia, Tszyu, headlining here in Las Vegas for the first time, going head-to-head against the towering Inferno, Fundora. Also on the line, the vacant WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Yes, 2 World Championships will be decided. Our co-main event, it'll be the WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the world, Rolando Rolly Romero, defending his crown against a very determined challenger from Mexico, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Also on that evening, it'll be the WBA Middleweight Champion of the world from Cuba, Edislandi, the American Dream Alada, defending his title against a very passionate Michael Zarafa from Melbourne. We'll jump back into the press in just a moment once the fighters start addressing one another. We'll let the guy do his thing. But in the meantime, wait for Tuck to get back on for his microphone and stuff, and we'll. Here. It is water in there. Let's see what we got here. Let me have you put the answer back on. All right, so yeah, once the fighters actually start talking and stuff, we'll dip back into it, though they can see it here in our broadcast. But Tuck, going back to the Sweet 16 tonight, where do you see the biggest chance of an upset tonight?
Yeah, the biggest upset I can possibly see. I don't want
Alabama, North Carolina.
I mean, I would say that's probably the easiest one to probably pick, unless you're going to go with the Illinois and Iowa State. I mean, that's kind of cheating, right? So I would say Alabama could probably upset North Carolina. I think that UConn is a strong team. The repeat champions possibly that a lot of people are thinking. So I think that they'll handle San Diego State perfectly fine. But also another easy one, I'll probably toss in Clemson. As well. So I think Clemson has a possibility to upset, and I'll also go with Alabama.
I'm jumping off the fact of how much these tickets are for Massachusetts versus LA. Ticket as low as $37, ticket as low as $203. If you look at, my guys, Steven Espinoza. Okay. My man Steven, what's going on, man? All right. Yeah, of course, he's former Showtime president. In charge of working with PBC in this pay-per-view, so we'll get a chance to talk to him as well. So really great guy, man. He's now, this guy here, man. When I say took care of your boy.
Like,
hey, when I came out for the fight last summer, gosh, fought last summer.
I forgot what fight you was at, man.
Dude,
I mean, you go to so many.
Yeah, was it a Crawford fight?
I think it was. Was it Crawford?
I think it was Crawford. It was here, but it was one of the big Showtime fights last year, man, and got your boy into it's his party.
Right.
Hey, look your boy in. He walked up, he said, "Give him a wristband, let him come on." Hey, man, but that's when I got the picture with Mark Davis. Like, yo, bro, you really do love these sweatsuits.
Exactly.
He liked this stuff. So, Chuck, man, look, man. So free agency, the Chiefs went ahead and they got Hollywood Brown, and so good move, bad move in your opinion. I'm fine with it because the Chiefs need a wide receiver. I don't know if they still go get one in the first round in the draft coming up, or if with Mahomes restructuring his contract and L'Jarius Sneed getting signed and traded, essentially get traded to the Tennessee Titans, and that freed up $20 million for the Chiefs with the cap space on top of when Mahomes restructured. They got, I think, almost $30 million that they can spend. How do you see this playing out for Kansas City?
Yeah, I think it was a good addition. The explosive wide receiver who's still kind of young, still really hasn't hit his prime, but he's played in some big games and played big. And then also, I think the Chiefs really just still have a void at wide receiver, and this is the best draft class to have that void. I mean, the Big 12 Pro Day is kicking off today in Frisco, so there's so many guys that the Chiefs can probably go to that they're going to have a plethora of big, tall, physical wide receivers with speed and anything you name it, it's going to be available in this draft class. So, and the Chiefs will still go wide receiver where they go the first round, maybe not, but you have a young core, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and you can go get you one of these Texas wide receivers to go out there to add to.
Okay, here we go. So when it comes to that, and I think it's because the lady came by, that's what. But when you look at this draft, a lot of good quarterbacks that compared to what was it, 2021 or whatever, with all the quarterbacks that are now on different teams besides Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
But this is a good draft for quarterbacks and wide receivers. Kansas City, obviously, they have not re-signed McCole Hardman. They haven't re-signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the running back. They obviously let go of MVS. I think it might be one other wide receiver that they may or may not have. No, I think they kept the rest of them. Do you see them getting another wide receiver? And if so, I know you kind of named a couple of colleges, but the receiver that I'm looking forward to the most is Keon Coleman. Now, before we'll talk back to this, but let's jump into this right quick and see what they're talking about on this side. Mute our two microphones.
Yes, a man, a few words. That is Sergey Bohachuk, but let me tell you, he does all his talking inside the ring. What a matchup that's going to be between Brian Mendoza and Sergey Bohachuk. Well, also now I want to get into the main event of our PBC on Prime Video card before the PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Want to acknowledge Stephen Breadman Edwards, who is the trainer of Kyron and Davis from Philadelphia. So give a round of applause to Stephen Breadman Edwards, who has been in the trenches in some big fights as well. This man, 18 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. A native of Wilmington, Delaware, training in Philadelphia. As I mentioned, alongside Stephen Breadman Edwards, scored 2 wins in 2023, including most recently having earned a unanimous decision victory over Cruz Stewart back in December. The one thing about this man is that he's always in shape. He will.
All right, Tuck, we'll wait to get back. I actually want to wait till they bring in the main event fighters and stuff for us to get back into it. So, thinking about the wide receivers again, I like Keon Coleman, but there have been some wide receivers at the combine, along with some of the pro days, that you've liked that may have caught your attention. Now, I'm thinking specifically of the Chiefs right now, not the Cowboys or anybody, but the Chiefs. Out of all the wide receivers that you have seen, pro day, combine, what we saw on film last year, if the Chiefs were to go wide receiver, who would you hope that they get?
Yeah, that's a good
again, I like Keon Coleman because of what I saw on film.
Right.
He's about 6'4"?
Yeah, about 6'3", 6'4".
6'3",
Yeah.
I mean, he, good speed, great hands.
Right.
Now he didn't have the fastest 40 time up there, but when it came to the shuttle and the drill stuff, I think he timed the best out of everyone up there.
Right.
Who would you expect for the Chiefs to go after?
Man, this is a good question, man, because there's a few, right? And I feel like the Chiefs, what they need is like a guy who's going to be able to stretch the field, but also a bigger wide receiver to play on the boundary. So for me personally, I think it would be Adonai Mitchell out of the University of Texas or Troy Franklin out of the University of Oregon.
Franklin.
So I feel like those two guys will be guys who get 6'3", 6'4" type guys, but also can run 4.3s as well. Speedsters can stretch the field and really be a vertical threat and go get it. But Keon Coleman, he would fit perfectly in this Chiefs offense. I think the knock for a lot of people on Keon Coleman was he doesn't get a lot of separation. Well, me personally, I have the upper hand because I'm a Florida State fan, and I know that their offense didn't require a lot of that. When you had 6'4" on one side and you had 6'7" on the other side, Jordan Travis really just dropped back and said, you know what? Go get it. Because Keon Coleman, speaking of March Madness, he's a former basketball player for Michigan State. He played for Tom Izzo. So he was a guy that you can definitely just throw the ball up and let him go get it. And I think he can add that dynamic to the Chiefs offense.
And here's the crazy thing is what I tell people is like, it's all a matter of where you go and who, because we talk about how good these wide receivers were, but again, it's also a matter of how good these quarterbacks were, because the quarterbacks aren't good without the wide receivers. Even Caleb Williams, USC. He had some good wide receivers there. Now the defense wasn't much of anything. So but what he did last year when he won the Heisman, and then 2 seasons ago when he won the Heisman, then last year his numbers were still relative. But he had some good wide receivers, and then you get Jordan Franklin, I think, whoever ended up going to the Chargers. But then you look at, like you mentioned, Oregon. Bo Nix. Hell, he was throwing the So look, week in, week out, if you built your parlays on some of these wide receivers, you've had to have hit because they were just. They were balling out, which means that the quarterbacks were balling out. You look at Michael Penix. To be honest, I'm not sure. And I know maybe his age, history of his injuries, whatever, but I still think he should be at a higher grade and maybe even get drafted higher than what he's expected to, because at the end of the day, I keep telling people, you still got to get the ball to. I don't care how good the talent, you still got to get the ball to the receivers. Everybody, and you got to avoid the same stacks and pressure that any other quarterback does. You look at Jaden Daniels out of LSU. And I like how people try to hold them hostage or accountable for the talent they have, but they don't do it for Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Randy Moss's son, but yes, he had the greatest season ever. But look at all the damn talent that he had. And then, Alabama quarterbacks too. And
Mac Jones.
They had all those wide receivers, Waddle and all them. So, for me, like I said, I know the quarterback at FSU got hurt, but Keon Coleman, to me, throughout the year, I think he might have been first, second team All-American. I know he balled out this past year. Again, we didn't really mention the receivers up in Washington with Michael Penix, but they balled out Texas. The Texas wide receivers. There's a lot of speed out there.
There's a lot of speed. This is by far one of the deepest wide receiver classes that I've seen in a long time, to be honest with you, Darren, because it's like there's so many opportunities, different flavors of ice cream. You go back to last year's draft class, it was more like the smaller, like slot wide receivers. You had your Jordan Addisons, you had your Tank Dales, those types of players. Like a lot of those guys. But this year, you have big guys that can actually go out there and run. I think today, right now, the Washington Huskies are having their pro day out there, so you're going to see a Jalen Polk out there and Rome out there. So it's going to be interesting because not only do you have a deep wide receiver class, you also have a deep offensive tackle class. And so what could happen was, and we'll get deep into this in the draft season, is that these tackles can push some of these wide receivers to the back, where you're sitting back and getting a Keon Coleman in the second round thinking, how the hell did that happen? And, there's some other guys, right? The guy that I'm high on out of UCF in the Big 12 is Javon Baker. Now, Javon Baker was a transfer from the University of Alabama, went to UCF, was a good, Big 12 first team All-American wide receiver, right? But he's big, he's physical, has a huge catch radius. This is a guy you might be able to steal in the 3rd round, but if you slap that Alabama logo back on his helmet, he's a 1st-round draft pick, lock. So it's like, it's where we're at with this draft class. There's a lot of, if you need a wide receiver, this is your class to go get it, but you're going to have to get it early. And I think, just from the Chiefs standpoint, I think they will. Mentioned USC, they have wide receivers like Tszyu Washington out there. Like, they're so, like, it's first 2 to 3 rounds, you'll probably hit on wide receiver almost pretty much guaranteed. But if you wait, then it drains out quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see.
One of the things, though, with the Chiefs, because they feel their immediate need with Hollywood Brown, they're just, a lot of fans are on the assumption, well, now you can kind of go best talent available.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
must be nice. Must be nice.
Well, but that's if you're true to that formula. They have not re-signed their left tackle Donovan Smith, who was on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to look at bringing him back or anything like that. But that's that's always an option. Or they could just go with the draft pick that they had last year and put him there. So and except Jawan Taylor on the right side. But if you're Kansas City, are you looking at drafting someone on the defensive line, even though you brought back, or are you looking at another more corners and stuff in the defensive backfield? Like, where's the biggest need at for the Chiefs?
Well, it depends, right? I think the most important piece for the Chiefs, right? You got to protect your most valuable asset, and it's Pat Mahomes. So, like I said, left tackle will probably be my pick.
But do you really go in the draft and put a $500 million quarterback behind a 21, 22-year-old rookie versus someone with experience?
With this class, yes. But the tricky part, right, there's a few left tackles and there's a lot of right tackles you can convert. So if you're looking at a Troy Fautanu,
I don't know if you want to really convert anybody.
Yes, what I'm saying. Exactly.
Doing that with Juwan last year.
And so that's the question, because there's some right tackles, but I think they're going to be converted, right? Which I wouldn't do that with Pat. But if you look at a Troy Fautanu, right, out of Washington, I think he's out of the box ready. He reminds me a lot of Rashawn Slater, who played for the Chargers. It's also another guy I'm not going to say because I want him myself.
But here's the thing: you also got to look at who's actually going to fall that far to the Chiefs.
And that's the tricky part. And that's the tricky part, because, like I said, the real difference with this year's class versus last year, right? This year there's more quarterbacks, so that's going to push some people back. This year there's more wide receivers, so that could push people back as well. And with the left tackles, you're going to have Joe Alt pretty much kind of go in the first core, and then there's that second cluster. So it's all going to be depending on how the board falls. But if you look and say, you know what, I need a left tackle, I wouldn't play with my food. I would probably move up a few slots and go get my guy, because you can really get a quality guy at left tackle in this first round, to be honest with you.
I'm thinking, I can't remember what draft compensation the Chiefs got for L'Jarius. I don't know if it was the 3rd or 5th round. I think it was the 5th round next year, maybe 3rd round this year. So if the Chiefs, not saying that they're smart because they know what they're doing, but if they have a bunch of those mid-round picks,
right,
2nd, 3rd round picks, whatever, and I know they got some compensatory draft picks, and I got to go back and look at it, see what all that they have so far for this upcoming draft. I think you can get a bunch of solid players that will end up making the team, but get them in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th round bunch area, because they still have players that they need to look at trying to extend contracts if they're going to.
Right.
Whether it's a Trey Smith, Creed Humphreys, we probably pretty sure they're going to extend. Nick Bolton. So there's a lot of these players that they need to look at extending, because one, you can do why it's fairly cheap, and then two, you do want to have some consistency, especially when you're talking about on the offensive line. I mean, I know my guy Eric Eagers talked about trading Trey Smith. I would, but that's just me. But I mean, you've gotten a lot of value from him as a 6th round draft pick. But I also think that it does say something about consistency, where you're not having a big turnover week in and year in and year out with your offensive line, where you're trying to put pieces in. I mean, you got Joe Thuney, that's going to be here for a couple more years as well with his contract being restructured and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'd like to see that inside core of Thuney, Creed, and Smith stay for as long as possible. I mean, obviously, salary cap is what it is. But
Yeah, and it's a good situation to actually go in the draft where you can do BPA, right? So you don't have to reach versus our team when you have needs and you really have to go to what I say is go to the grocery store hungry, right?
Starving.
I mean, we start. I mean, we got holes all over the place, right? So
look,
it's a good situation to be in.
But looking at your Cowboys, it seems like they're hamstrung because of the whole Dak Prescott and his contract. And I think he's gonna. I know I think they reached. I guess you got to restrict it, but they restrict, I think, about $4.5 million of his contract and the signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know if that really did anything for real.
Right.
But I mean, it seems like they're willing to let him play out the last year of this contract. And even if he goes somewhere else, they're still going to be on the hook for $40 million on the cap next year. I guess I should ask what maybe a few Cowboys fans want to know, man, what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones?
Man, it's frustrating. I think this is the biggest frustration with Cowboys fans is that, one, even if you extend that, let's say you do it before camp, well, free agency is over. It's like I tell people, it's like going Christmas shopping on New Year's Eve. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're too late. So
that's all we
so it's like that's the situation. The Cowboys aren't being proactive with this contract, and we all know what happened. Before Dak is willing to bet and gamble on himself. Now it almost cost him because even though he got the deal after the injury, but I feel like he's going to do it again. And I feel like with this agent and Todd France, they're not going to cave because they have all the leverage.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're Jerry Jones, knowing what you know now versus that time, do you have buyer's remorse?
No.
Well, no. Well, I mean, the reason I ask because it's like, okay, you signed to that big deal. You ain't really, I mean, not like you got to the NFC Championship game. Like you could have done that without paying them that much money.
I mean, but it happens with everybody. I mean,
no, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because we're looking at it, 3-4 years later. You know what I'm saying? Now, because if they haven't extended them, granted, they're claiming that contracts are ongoing. But if you haven't extended them, you wouldn't play it out on his last year. To me, I feel like you do have a bias because that's why you haven't extended them.
And I think that's part of the case. But what I've been saying is it's the Joneses' fault. It's Jerry Jones' fault. They could have signed Dak Prescott for cheap.
They should have done.
Yeah. So
after his third year, they could have got him for $25 million.
But they took care of Ezekiel Elliott and Jalen Smith first, right?
Well, Ezekiel did hold out. I mean,
but I mean that wasn't you get to take care of your quarterback, right? Yeah. And so they franchise tagged him twice. So this is why the situation that we're in. Versus you look at what the Rams were able to do with Jared Goff and get out of that contract, what the Eagles was able to do with Carson Wentz to get out of that contract if he wasn't fully sold on that player. So this is the Cowboys is doing. They kept kicking the money downhill, and now the rent is due when it comes to paying Dak Prescott. And I don't think that Todd France and Dak is going to cave, regardless of an NFC Championship appearance or not, because Justin Herbert, me and you kind of speak and see the same when it comes to Herbert. He ain't got no championship game. He ain't did nothing. Josh Allen ain't did nothing. All these players are getting their money, and Josh Allen has the same representation of Dak Prescott. So, it's just going to be interesting to see how this thing really fares out, because I know Dak, when we get to camp, he's not going to do no negotiate. Like, he cuts everything off. So then you're pretty much going into the season knowing that he could walk. Now, I know some people are saying the Cowboys can still sign him before March next year. I don't think that's going to be the case. If Dak does not go in this season with the deal, he is not going to be on the Dallas Cowboys roster the upcoming season. So
I can't see a scenario.
I mean, look at this, though. They let Lamar Jackson become a free agent. Now,
Well, he was a restricted free
agent. Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't tag him, or they can't tag him. So, if you let him walk, you let him walk. Which, again, I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. If it's not my money, so I'm going to be my own general manager. But I think Jerry Jones is looking back over these last 8 years, and he's saying, for what I've spent and for where we've gotten, I spent well north of, whatever Dak's contract was. So whatever his contract was, almost $200 million, 150, 60, $200 million, whatever. And we've yet to even sniff the NFC Championship game, where Mahomes has already got 3 Super Bowls, blah, blah, blah. And it's not like the talent between them and the Chiefs. They have the most Pro Bowl players that they've drafted and that they have there. So the talent has been there. To some extent, I'd say, coaching. Yeah,
right.
It depends on how you view Mike McCarthy. It depends on how you view the coach for what's the guy's
Jason
name?
Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
Ooh, yeah, that's all in the conversation.
Yeah. So so for me, it's hard, man. Where the problem is the way that contract is worded or whatever, that he costs so much against the cap, to where look, especially if you feel like he's your quarterback of the future, yes, you extend him, you sure you do whatever it takes, and you sign it, you lessen the hit. Because you still got to sign CeeDee Lamb, you still gotta give Micah Parsons his money. That's gonna be a lot of money in that salary cap tied up to 3 players, on top of other players who are going to be looking to get their money and stuff along the way. So,
well, it's simple from Jerry Jones' standpoint. This is what I'll ask Jerry, right? You're not getting no younger. So are you closer to a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott, or are you closer to a Super Bowl with Trey Lance?
I mean, Trey Lance money, I don't think he's the answer. Yeah, he could be. I don't know. Now for that price, obviously.
Yeah.
But here, I guess here's the flip side. If you were Jerry Jones, man, would you? Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We saw what Deion Sanders said about his son and Travis Hunter. If you're Jerry Jones, maybe you let Dak play out this last year, and Deion, if anybody can do it, Deion can, and to where he finagles it to where Dallas gets his, Dallas drafts his son.
You won't be close enough. The only way you're going to be close. Only way you're going to be close enough with Shador is if Dak was to go down. Like if Dak is out there, you're going to get 6 or 7 wins. No. Oh, you mean when he was saying the finesse, say I'm not going to play for the Cowboys?
Well, no, because he said his son's going to play. But what I'm saying is, if the Cowboys let Dak play on his last year, and so he's a free agent next year,
right?
So he'll be gone in the offseason after the season,
right?
So there'll be a draft next year,
right?
Where Cowboys don't have a starting quarterback unless you go with Trey Lance,
right? Okay,
but as Deanna said, he is going to Eli, his kid, so he's only going to let him play for when he more so won't win the team, unless it's Baltimore. But he's more or less going to try to steer where his son and Travis get drafted.
He's not going to steer them out the top 15, though.
It doesn't mean that, but it also doesn't mean that the Cowboys can't make a trade or something to get to move them up.
They don't do, and that's the problem. They don't be aggressive. The problem with the Cowboys, here's the biggest problem with the Cowboys. They're not going to be aggressive like the Rams and go all in to win a Super Bowl, but they're not going to tear everything down and rebuild. They kind of want to do a little soft, tweaking right here. So they're going to stay right in the middle. And I really compare it to the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks was the same way with Dirk. It was never just horrible. They can go and get Dirk some help in the draft, but they was never going all in, nailing top free agents. It was always in the middle. And that one season happened, and you happen to fall into a Luka Doncic to change the course of your franchise. So it's like, that's when it comes to the Cowboys. Either you go all in and win the Super Bowl, or be a top 5 team to go and get a new quarterback, to go get you a quality guy like you could have got a Jaden Daniels in this year's draft class, or possibly build. So that's the huge problem. And they're never going to be aggressive where if they're picking at 12, they say, you know what, we're going to give y'all a haul and move up to 2 to go get Shador Sanders, or move up to 1. That's just not in their DNA. So the biggest problem is the Cowboys and their ego. They think the way that they're handling business is the appropriate way, and they have nothing to show for it in over 30 years.
Yeah, that's a real good point.
Let's get back to boxing for the Cowboys. Get my blood pressure going. They'll get my blood pressure going up, man. I'll ruin my time out here in Vegas with these damn Cowboys. Yeah, man.
Jordan Tucker, the guy Darren Smith. We're live here to ship with Darren Smith. We're live here broadcasting on Radio Row, PBC pay-per-view, first time ever on Prime Video this week. Make sure if you want to get a chance to see the quality and everything before the fight, you will be able to watch the pre-fight stuff for 2 hours, 5 p.m. I believe it's 5 or 6 p.m. Well, I'm thinking Kansas City time. 5 p.m. Kansas City time, 7 p.m. You can watch, whether you order the pay-per-view or not, you can watch the prelims on Prime Video. So I expect it to be shot in 4K. Amazon.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
You don't see every drip of sweat and every angle, and
I'm actually excited, but I'm looking forward to this. Because we're here for the first time ever, so we're here at the inception. So
right, so making history, man, making history.
So the good thing is, they won't forget us. They did take care of us. And also, look, before we go further, we got some people we got to thank now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, man. So, a lot of people to thank.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, got a lot of people think, but most importantly, we got to thank our hotel sponsors. So let me pull that up right quick.
Yeah.
After we don't want them putting us out. We don't want them putting us out on the street or anything like that. Shout out to the KC Current. You know, they won their matchup last week at home.
Yeah, it's exciting for the KC Current. I haven't got a chance. I know you were for their opener, right?
I was there for the opener.
Yes,
nice stadium. Beautiful stadium.
Nice stadium. And I like their merchandise. Man, I got to give me some current merch, man. So
yeah. They took care of it.
Okay.
Want to thank the MGM for their accommodations. At the MGM is provided by MGM Resorts International, and gotta thank them for hosting us this week. It is been nice, man. A lot of get my steps in or whatever. So
definitely get your steps in, man. Like I was telling these people this morning on my Instagram, like when you come to Vegas, you ain't gotta do no cardio because you don't get your cardio in whether you want to or not. But I love the MGM hotel. Like a lot of people don't know, like I used to come to Vegas back when I was like 6 or 7 years old. My grandma used to bring them out here, and they used to have Adventure Island out here. They used to have a zoo here at MGM, so it's always been one of my favorite hotels. So thanks for the accommodations for having us out here, man. Love my room. I got the spear in my window view because the spear was like changing colors all night and everything. So I love it. It was a good time here in Vegas at MGM Grand.
Yeah, shout out, man. I told them exactly what I wanted. Like, we want to offer you blah, 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 blah. So this is what I need for me and my girls. They came through with flying colors. So we're going to take a time on this end. We're going to take you back to this here and let you all get a chance to
Santa Cruz, and he wiped out Diego Magdaleno. Vicious body shots in, I believe, under a minute. And that is when I knew firsthand that he was a force to be reckoned with. He has been in battles against the likes of Gervonta Davis. Most recently, last July, defeated Giovanni Cabrera, and has such a loyal fan following because he brings it from the moment the bell rings to the moment the bell ends in the 12th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, damas y caballeros, desde Mexico, Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes a todos. Muchas gracias por todo. A Al Haymon, a PBC, a Sean Gibbons, a todos y a este Bocón también por darme la oportunidad y venimos a quitar el Bocón y el título del mundo. Muchas gracias.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank PBC, Amazon, Sean Gibbons, and everybody that has made this fight possible, and also to this loudmouth over here, because I'm here to shut his mouth and take the belt. So get ready.
All right, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger. And now let's meet the champion. But before I get into the specifics on the champion, I want to acknowledge the promoter of Rolando Rolly Romero, Mr. Leonard Ellerby, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. I believe Leonard is around here somewhere. So let's have a round of applause for Leonard Ellerby, and also the esteemed trainer of Rolando Rolly Romero, Mr. Ismael Salas, as well. So round of applause for Ismael Salas, who has quite a busy night on Saturday. Well, this man, 15 wins, 1 loss, 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He came coming off of a very impressive win when he stopped Ismael Barroso last May. And the thing about that fight is that he had to dig deep, and he came out and his confidence never wavered. And he was able to go out there and he was able to finish off Ismael Barroso. Tony Weeks stepped in and waved off the fight. I would have to say, though, he's been in a battle with Gervonta Davis. He's been in some big fights, and he's one of the most unique personalities that the sport has seen in quite some time. Let's just say that he beats to his own drum. He does things the Rolly way. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending WBA super lightweight champion of the world. Here is Rolando Rolly Romero.
How's everybody doing today? I just want to thank Al Haymon, my promoter, Mayweather Promotions, Louis DeCuba Jr., and everybody else who came out here to support me. Everybody thinks it's going to be a difficult fight, but I think it's going to be a very easy fight for me. He's going to run right into something because he's stupid. So, yeah, that's that.
All right. Well, confidence in abundance is Rolando Rolly Romero, certainly ahead of Saturday's collision as world title defense against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for our main event. This is going to be for the WBO and the vacant WBC Super Welterweight Championships of the world. Before I do that, I want to bring up and acknowledge the challenger, Freddy Fundora, who is the father and the trainer of the Tyrant Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. There is Freddy Fundora over here. Round of applause for Freddy Fundora. The Fundora family, certainly you have Gabriela as well, who's the world champion, and Sebastian looking to follow in her footsteps. Also, the promoter of Sebastian Fundora, Samson Lukowitz, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about talent. This man knows how to find it anywhere on the globe. This man, with the record of 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 13 wins coming by way of knockout, 26 years of age, from Coachella.
All right, we're back. Jordan Tucker, Darren Smith. But you see, the press conference is still ongoing at the moment. That was a nice break that some of us needed.
Yeah.
So,
work hard, play hard, man.
Man, I'm telling you. I'll go back to the Sweet 16. Get a chance to pick some winners for tonight's game. You're the winners I pick is who I'm going with anyway, and whether or not you think that they cover. Arizona, Clemson.
Arizona.
Where you got your money on?
Yes.
Okay. Do they cover 6.5? We always talk about how Vegas be knowing something.
Hey, they do. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. Honestly, I think Clemson covers.
I'm going with Arizona. I'm actually going with all the top seeds tonight. I'm going with Arizona.
Okay.
Like you, I don't think that they cover. I think Clemson covers. Just because they're just too up and down when it comes to how they play. UConn and San Diego State.
UConn, clearly.
Do they cover 11.5?
That's high.
Exactly.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I gave San Diego State 15.5. So
yeah, that's a lot.
I got UConn as well. Got San Diego State giving them 15.5. North Carolina, Alabama.
I'm gonna go with Alabama.
Huh?
I'm gonna go with Alabama.
With the upset.
I'm gonna go with the upset. Alabama.
Still going with North Carolina. Yeah, I'm going North Carolina. I like them. Do they cover 4.5? Man, them half points is what get you.
Right,
man.
the points, man. That's where the money resides, though, man.
What, the minus?
Yeah.
Ooh, and they're trying to play down the stretch, man. I don't think they cover.
Okay.
I think Alabama covers. Iowa State, Illinois. Now the line's only 1.5. So
yeah,
it's a
coin toss, man. But I think I'm going with Illinois to upset, if you want to call it that. I got Iowa State beating Illinois.
I'm gonna go with Iowa State only because
Illinois beating Iowa State.
I'm going with Iowa State. Look, I don't care if this game is in Boston. And my Iowa people.
Iowa's them Cyclones. They travel.
Man, they got
rain.
Iowa general because of Caitlin Clark, but
right.
They got that cornfield money. They will figure out a way to travel, and that's what they're gonna do. So let's see. We got Tim Tszyu. Let's see what he's saying right now.
Every moment that I've done has led to this point, and I'm glad to be doing it and representing everyone and doing it on this specific day. You know, it's been a change of events, but you know what? The show goes on. We saved it. Destiny awaits. And I can't wait to put on a show. I should be having 2 belts now. I don't know why that belt's there. He hasn't earned it yet. It should be in the middle here. But Saturday night we get to fight for both of them. For me, this period of time, it's about collecting belts, collecting legacy, and again, as I said previously before, the greatest boxing family ever lived. It's happening right now, right here. So tune in.
Tszyu, ladies and gentlemen, as Tim mentioned, he's looking to further that family legacy. Well, what a start that he has had. And now I'm going to talk with the fighters. I'll start off with Angelino Cordova. Angelino, have you thought about the moment that if you're able to top your adversary on Saturday, when they say, and the new WBC flyweight champion of the world, what that would mean for you and your home country of Venezuela?
Cabeza en la almohada. ¿Te imaginas el momento en el que vas a poder decir y el nuevo y todo lo que va a significar para Venezuela, ¿no? ¿Cómo te lo imaginas a eso?
Oye, bueno, oye.
All right, we'll jump back into this presser in just a little bit.
There was a little spice there from Tim Tszyu, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Said he ain't earned them yet, man. He ain't earned them belts yet. So
he's like, I don't know why you putting that belt down in front of him. Like,
yeah, I think it's. I like Tim Tszyu, man. I like his demeanor. The funny thing, right? I briefly spoke to him yesterday when he was coming out of the workout. He reminds me of somebody I know, and I was like, man, who does he remind me of? He reminds me and looks exactly like the Florida State coach, Coach Norvell, Mike Norvell.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was just like, man, you know, like you ever see somebody like, man, I know he looks like Coach Norvell, man. But I think he's a very tough, hard-nosed fighter.
I'll take him in a fight over Norvell, though.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. Norvell can throw a little bit. You know, he has some toughness about him. But Tim Tszyu's going to be scrappy, man. You know, we talked about betting. I think for betting for Saturday night, it's going to be interesting. If you had to bet right now, do you think it's going to go to decision or do you think it's going to be a knockout? It feels kind of knockout-ish, man. It's talking.
That's the problem, though, man. Because it's like At 9 inches, that's 9 inches.
Well, he said he's not gonna use it.
Well,
You know,
yeah. I mean, 'cause if you're gonna crash down and bring yourself in, it's like, bro, what are you really doing?
I mean, yeah, man. Like to hear that, like he's not gonna try to stay on the perimeter and box on the outside and just work that jab. You know, you don't want to get up and close and personal and try to excite people. And sometimes you gotta pick your battles, man. So, you know, it kind of feels knockoutish, man. And then and the co-main event was Rolly and Pitbull, man. That's like Iowa State and Illinois. It's a coin flip to me, man. It can go either way. You know, I feel like Rolly's the bigger fighter, but Pitbull exactly goes by his name. He's gonna throw punches and bunches. If I had to bet right now, I would probably go with Pitbull winning the fight because I think he's going to be more active. And sometimes when it comes
Pitbull over Raleigh,
I feel like if I had to go right now and put my money on it, I would go Pitbull over Raleigh because I think that Pitbull's going to be more active. And sometimes when it goes down to the judges' decisions, it's who's throwing the more volume, you know. And I think they're going to go off for volume.
So you think Raleigh, who's a world champion, is not going to throw enough punches to?
He's more of a technician, man, versus a bruiser, you know. But like he said yesterday at the workout, right? He said Pitbull doesn't leave himself open for those counters. So, you know, if he gets sloppy out there, I know that Raleigh can definitely take advantage of it. But I don't know, man. It's one of these things where I'm not slamming no bet down probably until we walk into the arena, man, because I keep going back and forth. It's going to be some fun matchups on this card. But I'm leaning towards Tim. I like Raleigh. He's at home, but it's just like I don't know. You know, I don't know, man. I really just don't know about that co-main event, which is going to make it so explosive, and that's why people are going to be excited about it. But you 1,000% saying Raleigh slam the money on. That's who you going with the money team?
Well, I was kind of going with the odds. Remember we talked about
right.
Because when we looked at it for like a knockout with old boy with Fundora, I'm thinking like he was plus 900 to knock out Tim Tszyu.
I'm not saying him knock out Tim
Tszyu. No.
Right.
What the odds were saying.
Right.
I mean, it's. If I was going with a night of upsets, those would be the two. Those would be the two, because you do those two together, that's a serious nice little parlay. I mean, it's easy to just say, you know, the champion, and I mean, and it probably would be the case. I don't see 15-1, 13 knockouts, 25-2-1, 17 knockouts.
I mean, Raleigh's only loss was versus Tank Davis, and so, you know.
And I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, you part of the money team, you train out there with Floyd. So I mean,
you know, you can't lose it. It's hard to lose at home, you know.
It is home. I mean, but also, be honest. I mean, you know, them kind of look. Floyd wasn't no other knockout guy,
right?
But he beat you with them counters and you know,
right,
and beat you on the card and stuff. So,
right. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight. Fun night in Vegas.
I'm leaning towards both of the champions retaining.
Okay.
I look, even though Fundora was already fight on the card, it's still different when you have to, you know, adjust who you're fighting.
Right.
Going from a guy that's 6'1" to a guy that's 5'8".
Right.
You know, you gotta take this fight on even at the last minute. Now, granted, because you were fighting for an interim title, now you're fighting for for the world title. You know, at the
whole different level,
welterweight. You know, so you got a whole different mind. You gotta have a different mind frame when all this is going down. So. But we do reserve our right to change between
yeah. Give me now, but give me like I said. Once
I put my money on that, you know, that's
right.
For real.
You don't really put my money on. That's where my energy's going Saturday night, man. Once we done with work and I put that money down, man, I might
have to wait till Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Saturday, like
catch looking.
You know, but like Rolly looking safe, but you know, Pitbull, Cruz, like I mean, honestly, I think that's the main event.
Rolly.
Yeah, I think that's the main event.
Well,
I think that's the one that when we, you know, leave the arena, everyone's going to be talking about online, you know. So, just because the names, the firepower with it, like, you know, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight.
I think I think the biggest difference is just again because you don't have heavyweights that can slog and, you know, lean on the roads. I mean. I think when you have these smaller fighters, these welterweights and super welterweights and flyweight, you know, you're going to get a lot more action. So you have a greater chance of a knockout, but you also have a greater chance of them going the distance. So they don't have to really, you know, their wind and stuff, you know, their muscles being so relaxed versus the big guy versus the heavyweight. You know,
So
Real big difference.
do you feel like Tszyu has to put on a show to get Crawford, or to just win?
I mean, as for doors, you got the winner, so you need to win.
But he gets a win in the fashion, right? Or you think if it's like a win by like a slight decision, you think that's good enough to forget Crawford?
Well, I think the contract is there for whoever wins gets Crawford. So I just think, look, a winner's win, because again, I mean, this is, you got to remember, Tim was looking to face Thurman,
right?
And so now he's got to. So I mean, with the short time frame, again, you got to adjust to who you're fighting. So I mean, styles make fights stuff like this. So yeah, he probably had one style when it was going to come to fight Thurman. Now you're fighting Fundora. You gotta fight a whole different.
Right,
I mean,
whole different style.
Now he might not change his style because Fundora has already said that he's not going to use this
right
again,
which could be a counter.
But and look, he also could be lying. He could be fake.
Right.
I hope he is, because I'm not gonna lie. If I got a 9-inch advantage,
right,
bro, you're not coming in. I'm
right.
The entire time. So have to wait and see. So let's go back in here and see what they're talking about here.
Something. Why do you feel it is going to be sort of quote unquote a walk in the park for you on Saturday?
Well, I mean, he said it himself right now. He's just gonna come over there and throw and throw and throw and throw. He does the same shit over and over and over again. One over here, gets punched over here, gets punched over here. Same shit over and over again.
What do you have on your? You have a chain that I see. Can you explain that to the fans and the media around the world? So explain to us what you are wearing.
This right here is my good luck charm. It's Chihuahua Cruz.
So it is Chihuahua Cruz. Let's go ahead and take a look at that with our camera. Isaac, how do you respond to that? He's wearing a chain calling you a Chihuahua, and he's wearing you on his neck.
Está bien, voy a hacer la pesadilla.
Te lo regalo después de la pelea si tú quieres.
I'm gonna give it to you
No
after
te
the
hace
fight
falta
if you
más
want.
a ti para que me recuerdes.
Yo no te puedo regalar la fama, pues te regalo esto después.
Al contrario, te voy a regalar yo más fama que la que tienes.
I can give you the belt, but I can give you the chain if you want after the fight.
So, Rolly, are you going to put that chain on the line as well with your belt?
No, he already got after I knocked his ass out.
All right. So, in terms of how much of a statement that would be, if you follow through on your prediction and you're able to knock out Isaac Pitbull Cruz, how big would that be for you in your career? We can go ahead and just pass along the microphone. There you go. How big would it be if you're able to follow through on your prediction and knock him out? Because, I mean, he's very durable.
All right, so we got a chance to hear a little bit of talking.
A little bit.
He talked to, and I ain't like, my man got this Michael Lowry thing going on where he like to just walk around with his.
I mean, I was in the gym this morning, man. I'm trying to get like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get like that.
I'm trying to get back.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? I get my abs like that, man. Because my guy really ain't had a shirt on since we've been here, bro. He ain't had a shirt on. I saw him earlier today. He didn't have a shirt. Like, you just, like
bro, come on, man. It's the law right now.
Yeah, like shoot. But it's nice weather out here in Vegas, man. You know, pools popping a little bit, so I ain't mad at him, man. If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah, again, definitely looking forward to this fight. Now look, he's, he can speak English and Spanish.
Yeah, I like how that pivot.
Yeah, so he's doing a good job of trying to sell the fight. I just think once he gets a little bit more personality, he's gonna be doing pretty well when it comes to try to sell the fight.
Let me ask you that, because that was a question that people ask me online. Like, when it comes to the sport of boxing right now, just from being a fan, are you more worried about who has the belts and the best fighter, or are you worried about the best entertainment? Because I think that's what we're missing right now. Kind of sport in boxing. It's like we had Floyd; he was an amazing fighter and entertainer. You kind of got both just from being able to sell the fight. But as of right now, you really don't get that, that feel that can just bring everybody out. You see?
For me personally, you got to have a personality, because that's what's going to draw me in.
Right.
And then obviously, if you're able to fight, that keeps you locked in.
Right.
And that was the thing with Floyd. Floyd went from, I forgot, it was something for money. Money Mayweather could be.
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Pretty Boy Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Where he was trying to sell his own fights and calling folk out. And then once he did the money thing and was, going to the WWE, facing off, where he used that crossover to help build it. Again, man, I'm telling you, if you're smart, you try to figure out to do something with the WWE, and that's what he was able to do. And a few other boxes along the way. And Mike Tyson, along the way, Buster Douglas, you get that crossover to where. Because this is what they do when it comes to sell stuff, because that's entertainment. They're in the entertainment where they have to sell their business. And so once you get a chance to learn, and it all comes down to mic work. If you can do that mic work, that stick off of there, everything else sells. Because that's what made the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight so massive. They both could talk on the microphone. Now they did the whole black versus white and Mayweather. I mean, McGregor tends a little bit towards the little racist stuff, which I ain't really like that too much. But again,
it's sold the fight.
It's so. I mean, Floyd made $300 million. Conor made over 150 million. I mean, at the end of the day, they did what they needed to do to sell that fight. 400. Like that's what they had before they walked out to the ring. Floyd posted a picture of his check before he wanted to. I already got 300 million for this fight. I mean, come on, man. Crazy. So that's how when you're able to sell stuff, and to an extent, that's what the NFL did. If you look at it with the whole Taylor Swift thing, once her and Travis started dating, they kind of just went all in with it with the Swifties and all that stuff. Now, I'm not with the conspiracy that they had it to where the Chiefs were going to win Super Bowl, because trust me, everybody had it to where it was going to be Baltimore, San Francisco, just based off the logo and stuff. So but no, I always do the Chiefs over here. But I mean, so for me, you got to be able to work the mic first, because you got to let me know who you are. I mean, I'll come across the pay-per-view or the fight because bootlegging stuff. I'll watch it, and if they sell it, if it's a big fighter, whatever, I'll watch the main event. The problem is you got to watch. You want people to watch the rest of the card. That's where if you're diehard, but if you're not, how are you grabbing my attention?
And I agree, and I think that's just what boxing is kind of missing right now. Someone's going to fill that void. I think Tank Davis.
You don't have a hero and a villain right now in the same. At least with Floyd, you had it with him, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny, Khan. So you had that one person in that weekend, but you also have people that you can go off of. I mean, now you have other fighters, Chance Crawford or his brother, the brother, and and really right now, the big draw is Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the biggest draw. I mean, and we had it with Earl and Crawford, but it went.
That's what it was.
And then it ended the way that it did. So it was like ain't gonna be no trash talk coming from one side no more. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people they kind of hate what Jake Paul's doing, but Jake Paul can sell the fight. And I think that's the biggest difference right there. There's a void in boxing, and he just as a YouTuber, as a content, he's able to sell it. Because even me, I'm sold on that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Because we were talking about it yesterday. I mean, if these people are involved somehow, some way, I gotta get down there. Well, I want to get down there anyway because I've never been to Mike Tyson, so it'd be cool to go to one. But yeah, I mean, but that's again when the fight was announced, it was like. It broke through sports and everything else. Like this fight was announced. Again, a 57-year-old who will be 58, Mike Tyson, in a fight. In a fight right now that's going to be taking place July 21st, I think, at Cowboy AT&T Stadium.
So you sprinkle Jerry Jones on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's
going to sell.
It's going to sell. It's going to sell
because of the whole show, because of because of who's involved. I mean, it's Mike Tyson because it's Mike freaking Tyson. And people say Mike Tyson could be 80 years old and they'll still tune to watch. And now you're going to watch that because you go, okay, Mike Tyson, is he going to, is he going to be able to not just do that? Who people, I think it's funny. Mike Tyson is now the hero, not the villain. So people, so and the question is, can Jake Paul knock out a 57-year-old Mike Tyson? Because we see the video of Mike is doing all this stuff, saying, and back don't punch back or whatever. But you also, but just the aura of Mike Tyson.
The aura.
And so, and again, that's what I mean, dude. Here he is 20, 25, actually, damn near 40 years later. Here's Mike Tyson, and he's still able to sell.
Still a draw. Still a draw. And it's also kind of that Floyd experience, right? Because when you're got that hate that Jake Paul has, like there's so many people I see, like, I want Mike Tyson to knock him out. I want to teach him like they want that, so they're gonna buy into it and want to
And then he had people who think Mike is past his prime. Like, if you get knocked out, it's gonna look bad against, for the culture.
That's where I'm at.
Like, that's where
I'm at, man. Like it'll break my heart to sit there and see one of my favorite all time, not just boxing heroes, but just sports heroes get knocked out by Jake. I can't go out that way. I'll run in there and stop the fight. So like I can't see that. No sir.
And tickets haven't gone on sale or anything yet for that fight. Cause
watch the numbers. So that's Jerry's world. I mean, just to get in there, period, for anything.
That's why I'm hoping, people doing, like when I put that credential, I'm like, hey, remember I was at the PBC one now.
Right.
So I don't even know is that the zone. I mean, I don't know who's
I don't think
the TV people.
Well, no, it's on Netflix. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix will make it killer.
Oh yeah.
That's just again because you just again it's one of those football. You just go subscribe just to watch the fight unless you are.
And it's not separate. It's not separate. You just got to have Netflix to watch it.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody on has Netflix account will watch that fight.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna be somebody's account that day. If I can't go to the fight, I'm gonna use somebody's account.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're live here in Las Vegas. Darren Smith, Jordan Tucker, the ship with Darren Smith. PBC pay-per-view presents Tszyu, Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, along with Rolando Romero and Isaac Pitbull Cruz this Saturday night on pay-per-view on Prime Video for the first time ever. March 30th, 8:00 p.m. Eastern. 5:00 here local, live at the T-Mobile Arena. We will be there live in person on Saturday night. See, we got Tim Tszyu. That's also right now, as you can see in the background, you see the press conference going on right now with the fighters on the main card. Let's see.
Vamos a trabajar duro el sábado, el 30 de marzo. Creo que se termina ante 6 rounds. Creo que lo voy a ganar.
I'm going to work hard, and I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to knock him out. And not only that, it's going to happen before the 6th round.
Wow. Ed Islandi, a lot of predicting a knockout in the first half of the fight. Very interesting. All right, co-main event. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, your prediction is the second time the charm for going after a world title.
Bueno, Isaac, la segunda es la vencida. ¿Cuál es tu vaticinio para esta pelea por el título?
Bajando Isaac como nuevo campeón del mundo.
Isaac Cruz is going to be the new world champion.
All right, Isaac Cruz, a man of few words. Rolando Rolly Romero, you've been saying knockout the entire promotion. How is the fight going to end on Saturday?
Knockout, so he's going to wake up off the canvas from his dream of becoming world champion.
All right, Rolando Rolly Romero, the WBA super lightweight champion of the world. Now main event, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. Your prediction for your main event showdown against Tim Tszyu.
The second we stepped into Las Vegas, we clocked in. I'm ready to put in my work and become world champion Saturday night.
All right, Sebastian Fundora. Now, Tim Tszyu, you are undefeated. How do you see the fight transpiring against Sebastian Fundora?
As history will repeat, David versus Goliath, don't blink.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to all 8 pay-per-view fighters. It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video this upcoming Saturday from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Now we will pose off the fighters for their ceremonial face-offs.
All right, like as you see, they're getting ready to do their ceremonial face-off. Last bit of promotion or selling in the final press conference before the fight Saturday night tomorrow. We'll bring you all the weigh-in as well. They're doing what they can. They're doing what they're supposed to do to try to sell the fight. So I like it. I'm booked, so I'm going. So I'm going.
Right.
You got to tell me no more.
Yeah,
that's one thing. That's one thing about wrestling pay-per-view. They be trying, like, damn it, we didn't already order the pay-per-view. Like, this, Go on with the matches. You don't
Right.
have to try to sell. We're already here.
Right. Yeah.
If you're gonna sell the next week, but don't sell the people that were. I don't need you to do a WrestleMania thing when WrestleMania's already going on.
Yeah. You know, they selling the sell. I mean, that's why they're one of the biggest sports organizations in the world, because they always sell out. ABC, man, always be closing. So so yeah, man. I think that, you know, like I said, even if you are just a casual boxing fan, I think you're gonna enjoy this card. I think you're really gonna enjoy this card because it's gonna be action packed. You know, like you might not know the names, but I think you'll be hearing the names circulate a lot more after the fights are over. So I'm excited to be there, in the building, man. I know my guy Darren's probably gonna be dripped out, you know what I'm saying? Dripped down to the floor, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be
either confirm.
I'm confirming, you know, but it's Vegas. It's Vegas fight now. You gotta drip out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I got a little drip, man. I'm bringing a little drip.
I ain't gonna come in looking like Rolling. Nah, if I was in my high school days, I was 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
You could do it. You might turn a few for your heads, but not the
I turn for heads. I turn heads, but I guarantee you one thing. I'll let some dollars be thrown at me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
break
man.
out the licious, but they $1 bills back out there.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna take it right over to the crap table.
Yeah, man. I gotta get at least these. But I said the funny thing, right? Because, you know, we were at the Super Bowl in February. It's like it felt good to be around boxers, because around boxers, I feel like an adult standing next to, you know, like, you know, them NFL players, man, I feel like a little kid, man. And it's like, you know, like, you know, 6'7", 340, 6'2". I'm like, man, it's, you know, like, yeah. So it's around boxers. I
It's
feel
funny because think about my guy Orlando Brown, and he played for Chiefs a couple years ago for the last couple years.
Yeah.
He played for Cincinnati last year, so it was cool seeing him, and we got a chance to rap and stuff like that, man. Good guy, man. Think about the super stuff like that. So you thought about he's 6'9", 350, 340. Like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, Cam Newton, man. Like, I had no idea. He was.
I think he was 6'6", 6'5".
They said 6'4", 6'5". He felt like 6'6".
I think he's 6'6".
Yeah.
The great thing is, again, why don't you try to pick a fight with him?
Well, yeah, funny, yeah, crazy. Because after seeing him in the Super Bowl, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I would have to tell you, bro. You got it. You know what I'm saying? Or,
but the flip side is, when you be wearing a mouth, you be like, come on, man.
Well, here's the crazy part. We really put things in perspective, because Cam Newton was talking to DeMarcus Ware, and he was towering over DeMarcus Ware. And I'm just like, this was we used to pay you big money to tackle him, and he looked like the big defensive end, man. So it's just like, yeah, I like.
He was made him up more than college.
Yeah. No, so that's just who Cam is, man. But it's good to be back here. Like I said, boxing, competitive atmosphere, spirits alive. I mean, you see everybody walking around. You know, and here's the craziest part about boxing. I hate the whole Ryan Garcia situation that happened during the Super Bowl. I walked right past it, and because it was so much going on. I walked in with Ryan Garcia and his team, and didn't even know, you know, and it's I was so focused on this, you know, and I see that on the internet. So, you know, there's a lot of fights in boxing that's brewing that I think is going to push it to that next level. And I think, you know, Saturday's going to be a good start. So we'll see.
I tell you, man, I love what I do on Radio Row, man. Because again, you get a chance to actually just sit back and meet a lot of great people, and then get a chance to interview people that you probably would never interview before. We see Raleigh Romero over. I'm gonna see if we can get him. I'm gonna see if my guy bring him over here. Give me 1 second. See if we get some of these fighters over here.
You might want to switch this camera angle so that's not it's like directly. So if they're gonna sit in this chair.
Yeah. We'll get them. No, you put it there.
Yeah.
See again. We'll wait till they try to come around. We'll worry about them. Give them a second. But yes, we can get off of this here. And all right, so yeah, we're back here. Well, actually, never left. Jordan and yours truly. Oh, you know what? One thing we haven't talked about, opening day. And I feel kind of bad about that, but I don't, because I'm not there at the Royals game. Look and see what some of these scores. I see what they're doing right now. So, okay, so it's the top of the third, and then Royals and the Twins are tied in 1, 2 hits apiece for both teams. Got it. All that didn't do strikeout stuff, man. Look at this, man, because
K's.
I've hit some baseball parlays before. I can't.
I think I don't know, man. I was
Hey,
up
man, hold on. I got to tell you about the one part. So 2 years ago, this before I think the bet was legal stuff, and it was right before it was legal in Kansas, and I did a $15 parlay.
Yeah, I think I played some bets on baseball, but I'm on for.
All right, so we'll have Raleigh Romero over here in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that because you're definitely gonna want to hear that interview.
Right.
Now the baseball thing. So I had a I think a 5-leg parlay a couple years ago. $15 online. It was a overseas thing where because you couldn't. It was illegal stuff. So I had to use crypto.
Right.
And I won it, and it was like $246 that I ended up winning. And I flipped that for the college football first weekend.
Ooh.
Had a 10-leg parlay and hit it and won like $3,200. Man, the crazy thing about it was it was like it might have been a 6-leg parlay, but it was stuff point spread. But my dumb ass had a Florida game. I forgot who they played. Fortunately, I went money line because I was trying to get a few extra bucks, and went money line, and they damn near lost the game.
Ah, damn.
Bro, you're talking about somebody who's gonna be sick,
right?
For me to lose $3,200, man. So,
yeah.
And then we got Leonard Ellaby, who is right next to us. So perhaps we'll get a chance to, we'll get a chance to talk with him as well. So people here trying to sell the fight, and I love it, man. Love it. So before we get to these fighters and stuff, and before we get some of these guests going over here, Tuck, looking at some of the baseball games. The Yankees are getting blasted 4-0, bottom of the fourth inning. Orioles are just mollywhopping LA Angels. They're beating them 8-1, middle of the seventh inning. Florida Marlins beating the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-2 in the top of the fifth inning. So the Dodgers 2-0 over the Cardinals in the bottom of the second. There's some good stuff going on right now. Yeah, it's got a few more games going on. So I might have to put some bets in on the baseball game a little bit later as well.
I want to think, like I said, I was up in the morning, man, in the gym. I want to say I bet on baseball, but did I hit the trigger? Let me see.
You probably did.
I think I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Did I do a little degenerate bet this morning, man, when I was on the treadmill?
Oh God.
It's Vegas though. Like it's Vegas, man.
Oh, man.
So
you have to worry about it. Look at your ticket.
I'm looking at my ticket. Let's see here.
Let's
see, open. This app, bro.
Yeah, my stuff did that anyway. Yeah, so they got a whole lot going on, but we'll be talking to Rolly Romero in just a little bit, and probably some of these other fighters as they bring them along here. We're live inside the MGM Grand Ballroom here at the MGM Grand. PBC pay-per-view this Saturday night, March 30th, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Amazon Prime Video. I know they don't really say Amazon, they say Prime Video. So
Prime Video, right.
I don't know why. But,
right.
I'm going to have to ask somebody. I'm going to have to ask Steven Espinosa about that, why they do that. But got a double main event, Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. You got Rolly Romero against Isaac the Pitbull Cruz. And we'll get a chance to talk to some of these fighters in just a little bit. Tuck, we got about 40 minutes left in the show before we get out of here for the day. What are you most looking forward to while we're out here in Vegas this weekend?
Man, hitting one of my no, honestly, man,
that's facts.
No, for me, honestly, it's just to be at the fight. This is my first actual fight that I've attended in Vegas. Some of those were mishaps of my own, you
go about those.
Yeah, some of those
they're gonna be going swimming this week.
Yeah, man. Wet Republic is right out downstairs, man. So last time I partied a little too hard and missed the fights, but this time I'm gonna be live and awake. So but yeah, I'm just excited to be there. Vegas fight night, to see the fighters up close and personal. You get to talk to them, so you kind of grow a little fond of even like talking to Sebastian, like I feel like he's a good kid, so I'm cheering for him, but I just don't need so it's one of those things. So I'm excited for that, man, but also just being around Vegas. Like I said, you got fight night, but you also got March Madness of the night, be at the sports book, seeing all the big money flying around, big
dinner
ticket.
on you tonight, thankfully.
Yeah, dinner on me tonight. Dinner's on me tonight. You know, no, dinner's on Vegas tonight. Dinner's on Vegas tonight because we're gonna win some money. I'm gonna take that, buddy. I'm gonna take that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna eat big, you know. So
whatever, whatever helps us eat tonight. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, so that's the case, man. So like I said, it's always a good time in Las Vegas. One of my favorite cities in the world is to be here, period. To be back here a month later after I was already out here. So March Madness and Fight Night on Saturday is what I'm looking forward to the most.
I tell you, man, we talk about it. I could live and I could work in Vegas, but I'd have to get adjusted. And literally, if I was in Vegas, man, it's like I'd be covering the Raiders. I'd be covering because you remind me, they got a WNBA team,
right?
I'd be doing that. They're gonna have a baseball team there shortly, then of course hockey. Look, you know, you got UNLV, you got some other stuff here. There's always something going on.
Right. Always
something going on to where, you know, if I was 20 years younger, oh Lord, I'd be in trouble if I was down here, bro. I ain't lying. Oh, yeah. Have you had one of those championship belts?
No, I haven't.
Man, Raleigh came by, Raleigh and Sue came by Radio Row. He does like 40 pounds.
Yeah, look heavy, man.
Hey, I tell us, hey, bro, don't leave this belt lying around.
Yeah.
It's going up in somebody's pawn shop.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, man, I don't know if I could find it, man. I would just probably leave it hanging up.
Yeah, man.
They're nice, man. Those are better than the wrestling belts.
Wrestling belts, yeah.
You know, let me tell you about it. They interviewed Orange Cassidy from AEW, and man, I'm telling you, his championship belt was pretty nice as well. So
right.
I'm not gonna do him like that. I'm not gonna disrespect wrestling like that.
Yeah.
See, so we've got other NFL news. The Mingles and Jamar Chase have yet to discuss contract extension. So there have been rumors and reports about Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings, whether or not he would be up, you know, whether they'd be up to trading for him or whatever. We know T. Higgins wants out of Cincinnati, even though he's on the franchise tag.
Right.
He hasn't signed it, but you know, the Chiefs have, you know, they have the cap money now. If they want to try to do a sign and trade, they could maybe work something out. The fact that they haven't even started contract extension with Jamar Chase, is that troubling for you if you're a Bengals fan?
I think it's troubling for not just the Bengals fans, but Cowboys fans and also Minnesota Vikings fans, because everyone's waiting on the Justin Jefferson deal to get done, right? Yeah. So it's like it's one of those
if it
gets done, so that might delay things. So it's nobody
wants to be the first.
No one wants to be the first.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be the first. Nobody wants to be the first, but someone's going to have to pull the trigger, and you got 3 phenomenal wide receivers to make a decision on. But the longer you wait, the higher the price will become. So, and for the Cowboys standpoint, I'm like, you get CeeDee Lamb done as soon as possible. Get him done, because if you wait and Jamar Chase goes, let's say Jamar Chase goes, and let's say, let's go with you.
Let's go. Yeah. So
your first pay-per-view.
Yeah. Let me know. Gonna be bigger. Let's see.
Cameras, crowd gonna be following you around.
The angle's good.
Yep. All right. So we are now joined. Oh, have you put those headsets on? All right. So we are live here in Las Vegas, and got a chance to talk once again. To our guy, Mr. Leonard Ellaby.
Yeah.
We spoke to him last week. Of course, he joined me on Radio Row last month over at the Mandalay Bay. So appreciate it very much. First of all, let our audience know, out of Kansas City, your role in this big pay-per-view coming up this weekend on Prime Video.
I have 2 fighters that are fighting on the card. Obviously, Rolly Romero, he's fighting in the co-main event. He's defending his WBA junior welterweight title. He's taking on Pitbull Cruz, and that should be a banger. It should be a banger.
Yeah.
But also, I want to introduce my little young fighter, Carmel Moulton. He's 2-0, and he's going to be the future of the sport.
Okay.
He's buzzing everywhere already around around the boxing industry. So again, he's gonna be fighting on the card. He's taking on a 7-0 fighter. That's all we do is fight undefeated fighters.
I mean,
You know,
we expect
again,
nothing less.
but he is the future of the sport. He is definitely the future of the sport.
Now, before we brought you on, I know you told me you got to get used to this. So we were really talking about this earlier. When it comes to fighters and boxers, whether or not you want, whether or not it's important for them to be an entertainer on top of a good fighter, or what? Because and we talked about Floyd being someone that he was Pretty Boy Floyd at first, but then once he switched over to money and started doing some of the other stuff to make the name for stuff, doing the WWE stuff, the WrestleMania stuff against the Giant and stuff like that, to where it was a crossover, but also it helped expand his brand. Is that what you're trying to teach?
Most definitely. You know, my thought process when I first put Floyd on Dancing with the Stars was wanted to grow the base, wanted to be able to cross over into the mainstream world. The key to it was we had the big fight with Oscar De La Hoya, and we wanted to get on that platform to show the world who Floyd Mayweather was from the mainstream side. And then once we were able to do that, then we built on that. The Dance with the Stars, WWE, and it'll be no different with him. He's a nice-looking young man. He can fight his behind off, and he's got the best team in all of boxing.
Right.
Well, of course.
We're led by Floyd Mayweather. So again, it's just the sky's the limit, and we're just grooming him to get used to this kind of stuff. Learn how to talk to the media and be engaging, and then just. When you walk into the room lights up and it's all about you.
Right.
Yeah, because when you walk in the room, you got to make sure all eyes are on you.
Yes.
To where everybody's like they want to hang on your word. So speaking of which, we gonna help you out. So how old are you?
I'm 17.
Hold on, you got bring the mic closer to you.
There you go.
Okay. 17.
17 years old. Okay, now what separates you from everyone else?
I feel like just my work ethic and just the way I came up. Coming up, I was always small to everybody, so I always just worked myself to the limit, and I just felt like I had to prove everybody wrong. And so I just feel like my skills is on another level than everybody else, and I'm gonna just keep showing it when I fight.
What got you into boxing now? And I'm asking, were you ever bullied, or did you do the bullying, or was it just something that you just picked up that you saw on television and you wanted to do?
It wasn't. I didn't really have nothing like that. My dad got me to it when I was about 4 or 5. He introduced me to the sport. He was showing me Floyd on YouTube and the Mayweather gym. And then around like 6 or 7, we moved down here to Vegas specifically for boxing. And we just put 100% into it from then on. And here we are.
One question. Knowing I've watched this man just from the outside view looking in, what's it like learning from him? Now, it's obviously on the boxing side you get from Floyd, and I know you used to box, you learned some from him, but on trying to sell fights and bringing the motion out of you, getting your character out of you. What have you learned from Mr. Ellaby?
I've learned a lot, and it's great. I'm way ahead of the game than everybody, all the other fighters coming up around my age and stuff. I have way more experience than them because I'm learning from the best team. So I just feel like, it's gonna have me be the next pay-per-view star.
So you mentioned, right, that you learned from the best in Floyd Mayweather and the money team. So for people want to know who you are, what type of fighter are you?
I feel like I'm an exciting fighter. I don't want to say that I'm one type style fighter because if I need a box, I could do that. If I need to pressure somebody, I can do that also. Overall, I'm an exciting fighter. I feel like I mostly resemble maybe like a Pretty Boy Floyd type style, or a Sugar Ray Leonard or something like that, like a fighter like that.
Okay. So what was it like? You said your father pretty much put you on Floyd's YouTube videos, and now you with the money team. Well, how was that transition? What was that journey like for you?
It was crazy. My dream has always been to be a part of Mayweather Promotions, the money team. I've always looked up to Floyd since I was a little kid. My dad was a big boxing fan, so he used to have me watch him almost every day. I was only 4 or 5 years old, barely not even going to school yet. So I was watching Floyd on the TV, so I always just looked up to him. And now being so close to him and fighting for him and Mayweather Promotions, it's amazing.
Then I got to ask you, I mean, I see when you sit there, you listen to him, you watch him. What's wrong with you? Because you have like that proud father look.
It's like it's like for me, this is why I love the sport.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to do this with Floyd. I was able to do this with Tank. He's next.
Okay.
He's next. And you know, one of the special things I love about him, he listens. You know, because again, we've been there and we've done this thing. You know, it's like he's building this fan base already. You know, he's sponsoring like 50 kids. They're coming to his fight. These are underprivileged kids.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The place is called Child Haven.
Okay.
And so it's like these kids already have come to the gym. They come to the gym and they watched, you know, they had conversations with him, taking a lot of pictures with him. And they even got like the pictures hung up down in the youth facility. They're already looking up to him. So again, he's the future of the sport. And he's just learning the right way. He's going to be involved with the community and it's just doing the right things. You know.
You got a good guy to learn from, man.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Because I know you got other stuff you gave, man. Looking forward to watch you fight Saturday. So we'll be keen in and we're gonna follow you because he's gonna make sure that we follow you.
100%.
Yeah. But no, I'm looking forward because if he's saying you're gonna be the next best thing, we're booking it. We're gonna follow you from here to the rest of your career. So we'll be around to cover you if it's in God's man. Wish you best of luck this weekend, man. I look forward to seeing you fight.
Want all the fans in Kansas City and the surrounding area tune in this Saturday night,
8 p.m.
Prime Video. For the big show.
The big show.
It'll be a big show.
First of all, he know how to sell a fight, but that's what we've been doing for the last 2 hours. So,
you see how he does it quick, though. You know,
Leonard Ellaby, Camille Motion, thank you so very much. And best luck to you Saturday. We'll be there to watch you.
Yes, all right. Thank you. Best of luck.
All right, my man. Take care of that.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Appreciate you guys coming out and support.
Oh, of course. All right, we'll be joined by Raleigh in just a second. I think we probably missed him.
Yeah, he was right there. He'll be back.
Okay, yeah. Man, this is good stuff, man.
So that's what it's about, man. Like, you know, the future of boxing. And you know,
and again, we talked about it because without Floyd, I mean, who's the next person? Now, hey, look, Leonard can sell anything, but the fact that he put us up on this, you know, on a motion. Again, because he's 17 years old, so I'm looking like, bro, I thought he was like kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I'm like, small dude. But now I'm gonna make sure that I'm at the arena early enough to watch him fight. Cause I want to see what he's got. He's 2-0, 2 knockouts, you know, against a guy that's 7-0-2. He's technically undefeated, but you know, 3 knockouts. So definitely looking forward to see how that, you know, how this fight unfolds, man.
Well, you know, the money team, they ain't gonna stamp nothing that's fake. You know, like they definitely see something in them. And you know, I can tell when Leonard was speaking about him, his eyes was lighting up.
Yeah,
so,
it was
it wasn't like, man, I just got to do my little rotation. Like now, I see something in this kid. So you know, I'm definitely, you know, I was gonna probably show up fast and be late to the fight. So Cadell motion, you gonna get me out there a little.
He gonna be there early for that.
He gonna get me out there a little early, man. You gonna see these kids fight, man.
Hey, you know, man, I love his spirit, man. You know, nice little kid. He's got his head. He's got the right attitude right now.
Imagine being 17 and being under the biggest spotlight in boxing. Like this, that's a lot of pressure. You know, your money team, you're stamped by Floyd, you got Leonard Ellaby at your side. Like that's a lot of pressure for a 17-year-old kid, but he was cool, calm, and collected.
He's going to be like, folks are going to be able to see him on the free portion of the Prime Video. So he's going to be introduced, or maybe either, I don't know if but he's going to be introduced to a large audience just by being on Prime Video, where people don't have to pay to watch him fight. So man, that's gonna be big, man. So again, big thanks to Leonard Ellaby and Camille Moten. So you know, for joining us here on the ship. We're live in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Ballroom here at the MGM Grand as PBC presents their first ever pay-per-view on Prime Video. Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, along with Rolando Romero, taking on Isaac Pitbull Cruz on pay-per-view this Saturday, March 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, live at the T-Mobile Arena, not the T-Mobile Center.
Right, T-Mobile Arena.
Right outside.
Yeah, man, Darren told us to come to the T-Mobile Center. I mean, I'm sure there's something going on, but it ain't the fight. It ain't the fight.
You want to watch it on pay-per-view. A lot going on, man. This is a nice atmosphere, man. It's got the big time.
I love it, man. They're taking care of everybody. and it's not as much walking as the Super Bowl. My feet ain't hurting, my feet ain't swollen. Yeah, well,
look, I mean, until we actually found a shortcut. Yeah,
Super Bowl, man. I had a stress fracture in my foot. I walk so much, man. So like now, man, we sitting back, we posted up. They're bringing the interviews to us. They're bringing the food and everything to us, man. This is the life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, Cowboys Nation, y'all might, you know what I'm saying, might only have me for a little bit. I might make my transition over to boxing, man. This is the life. This is how I'm supposed to be treated, man.
Man, buy you out to the hotel.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? To make sure you got tickets to the fight.
This is y'all know, it makes somebody feel special, man. Salute to PBC, man. MGM Grand taking care of us, man. It's gonna be fun. So, but yeah, like the energy is still in here. Like the press conference is over, y'all, but now the fighters are making their rounds. You got Tszyu to the left of us. Leonard LB's over there. You got Rolly Romero walking around. He just dipped somewhere.
Look, but I ain't worried. Steve will bring him.
Yeah.
You better, because you got about 24 more minutes. You got to get to sports book. You know what I'm saying? Actually, yeah. Well, I was going to say, I didn't realize we did see this on there. So
yeah,
that was a while ago, man.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So we got Rolly coming over in just a second. Yeah, we'll put him right there. And once he comes, we'll bring him in when he comes. And so, fortunately, there's no FCC when it comes to what a fighter's about to say, because he's about to say some stuff. It's like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of what we. The hell? Okay. I guess
they're gonna come get him.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, look, he'll come. I'm not worried about it. He'll come.
Yeah.
So look, man. So we got everything going on this Saturday. What else we got going on around the NFL? Because I know there's some more NFL stuff that I'm pretty sure I can talk about at the moment. We are waiting on Rolly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too deep. But somebody texted on the thing earlier.
Right.
Chiefs agreed to deal with rugby star. Yeah, Chiefs agreed to deal with rugby star Louis Rees-Zammit.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to be playing running back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about this. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's going to be giving the team another offensive. This is according to ESPN. They're going to look at him at running back, and perhaps we're also going to get Tszyu as well. So we got the main event folk coming over here, and that's just how we operate. That's how we roll.
Right.
So let me get my notes for Raleigh right quick. But this guy here, what's your thought process on Louis Rees-Zammit?
Yeah, don't know much about him, but it looks like the Chiefs are starting to think outside the boundary a little bit and get because when they're a rugby player they had previously. There was a kicker. I think he was playing for San Francisco. So, you're starting to see it's a transition from some of these rugby players starting to transition over into the NFL. And the Chiefs are taking risks. Like I said, you never know what's going to work out. From what I've seen just on watching online, he's a phenomenal athlete. And so you can always use
he's only 23. He's only 23.
Yeah.
Ran a 4.43.
Yeah.
In the 40. So,
yeah.
I don't know what his height is, though. That's I don't know how tall he is, which is, see what Google's talking about.
Right.
I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know what he's. He's 6'3". Oh Lord, 6'3", 194.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that I don't know what the deal is for, but considering that you didn't bring back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean,
right.
And you know what? I'm intrigued. I don't know anything about him. You don't see too many white running backs, which is cool. But we'll wait and see what he.
That's right.
Have him sit right there. Put the headsets on. Let's go.
Good, my guy.
Now, Riley, you got to bring the mic down, man. You got to put the microphone.
I'll fix it high right there today. Yeah.
Now, Riley.
Okay, so we're on the Rolly show right now. Okay.
No,
Hold on.
No. We're gonna do this right. We're gonna do this right because you was with me on Radio Row. was with me on Radio Row, so we're gonna do this right. Now you on the ship
Kansas
with
City,
this.
I know. I remember.
Oh,
I remember. But we're on the roller show right now. So,
Okay,
what's your guys'
we'll let you
prediction for the fight? What round do you think I hit him in?
Well, it's funny. No, and also we were wondering about because I know you said you're gonna knock him out, and we were looking at the odds on what the knockout would be, and I think it's like plus 600 or something for you to knock him out. So.
Put some money, shit. Let's all make money, shit.
Let's make money. That's what you're making some money.
I bet on Rolly. I took the damn fight. I bet on Rolly.
Well,
I'm the one that made this fight happen, right?
I bet on
Rolly, right?
Bet on Rolly.
Yeah,
I bet on Rolly.
I always bet on Black.
So what question to you? What round you knock him out in?
That's how we do it. First round, 30, 40 seconds. Sometimes I do my mess work in 30, 40 seconds, Shit, that's all I ever need,
First
man.
round?
I don't care if they need more. I do my best work about 30, 40 seconds,
Okay. Now, so it's serious. So I do have you winning the fight, and I actually have you winning the knockout. So that's a good thing. So I got you now. I'm gonna take you at your thing now. I don't know if you're trying to sell the fight, but I got you the knockout over Cruz. But what's going to be your biggest challenge in taking them on this Saturday?
My biggest challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I know my biggest challenge. Honestly, you want my know my honestly? Try not to get laid within the next 24 hours.
It's showtime. The rolling stuff.
I'm like trying to interview them, and they over here just welcome to the Rolling Show.
Yeah, man, Rolly show, man. So what do you got around your neck, Rolly?
This right here, this is my good luck charm. I told you.
Yeah. Chihuahua Cruz.
Chihuahua Cruz.
Yeah.
I like what you had on. Yes, I like the belt you had. I like the chain.
That was
I mean, that was a masterpiece. I mean, it's one of a kind. Like, I mean, it put rubies in it.
That's
I'm
one of a kind too.
Have you ever seen a rapper wear rubies?
Nah.
You ever seen a man wear rubies?
Nah.
So
really different. I don't give a fuck.
Really
I
different.
got rubies in my damn chains.
Yeah. So
I took that from Frank Ocean. I think he's probably the only one that ever wore rubies, if he even did.
Yeah.
So Ron, I gotta ask you, working with Leonard, man, what are some of the things that you've learned working with Leonard and Floyd? Obviously training with Floyd.
Mr. Ellerby?
Yeah.
Where he go?
He's back there somewhere.
Yeah.
Mr. Ellerby.
They're selling more fights. Okay.
I'll tell you like this. If I ever do something stupid, Leonard is the first person to call me and advise me. Yeah. I kid you. The first person, I swear on it, anytime I ever done anything stupid. Not that I do stupid things to begin with, but he always advises me with everything, and I know if I have any like he'll advise me with anything. I ask him for his advice on everything.
Well, I know we gotta let you go. I'll take it to last question.
Nah, go.
Wait, go where?
For the rolling. I gotta go. I gotta go, man. All right, man. Knockout tomorrow, man. Good luck, Rolly, man.
Not tomorrow, Saturday.
Or Saturday. Yes, it's fine.
I'll be fine.
Saturday.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Appreciate you, man.
Good luck.
All right, my guy.
The Raleigh.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Woo, we had to cut the show short.
He came in hot. He came in hot.
Try to do a takeover.
I was like, hold on, man.
It's my show.
Yeah.
But man, look, Rolly, man. He is entertaining.
He's entertaining.
He's entertaining.
We're saying.
That is what we're talking about. And the good thing is that if you Raleigh, yes, you can talk, but you better back it up. Back it up. So as long as he's able to back it up this weekend, I think sky's the limit for him.
Right.
15-1. He got a chance. He's a WBA super lightweight world champion. So
right.
I mean, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to Tim Tszyu in just a second before we get off the air. But man, I tell you, man, this is I'm getting more and more excited about this fight. About this whole card coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. And there's your guy. Tim Tszyu. Anyway, you talk about how he looked like Mike Novell. So,
yeah.
We'll get a chance to talk to him right after he gets through with his interview, man. But I'm excited. I'm excited about what we got coming up this weekend, man. And tomorrow we'll have we'll showcase the weigh-in and stuff
right
here, and get everybody ready to go for this fight Saturday.
Yeah, like you say, you start to feel it build up a little bit. Yesterday it's kind of cool. Now you see I'm talking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Rolly's on 10. Tim looks focused, man. He looks like I wouldn't want to cross him right now.
Yeah, because even when I came out for Floyd and McGrath, I mean, because it was so huge because they had it inside the T-Mobile Arena to where you up in the stands, and it's like 15, 16,000 people. So this is more intimate to where they're bringing the fighters up to you get a chance to talk to them versus trying, you know, I mean, you got ESPN flying into Stephen A. and you all up in the table. You don't really get a chance to talk, and they're just having one person the microphone asking questions and stuff like this. Here, being on Radio Row, you know, they bring them over to you. So this is real cool. I mean, I did some Radio Row stuff during that. I was kind of unofficial on that. I brought my stuff. I always travel with my stuff anyway, but I, you know, interviewing Isaiah Thomas and a few of these other people who had came to town and stuff like that, man. But this is pretty cool, man. I like this, man, and hopefully they do more of this, and and if they like what they see. Trust me, I'll make myself available and pay for boy Canelo for the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
But Tuck, you know, before we got about 15 more minutes, 14 minutes before we sign off, man. Looking at some more news. The Panthers, they signed Jadeveon Clowney to a 2-year deal worth $24 million.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie. I'm liking some of the offseason moves that the Panthers are making. One, they know they got to spend money because they've got to. I mean, you can't be that bad again under Bryce Young, and you got to get the man some help on both offense and defense. But he agreed to a 2-year deal, contract, $20 million worth up to $24 million. What about that signing do you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, Jadeveon Clowney is still ticking, man. Is he who he was when he was drafted from the Houston Texans? Probably not, but he's still an asset. And I think, like you said, man, I think the Panthers, even though they're a young team, they're adding quality pieces out there. So I think that was a good addition to their defense. You get a veteran guy who's been in the fire. They can go out there and help them because they're a young team. And I think that Bryce Young, honestly, I expect Bryce Young to have a better season than what he had last year. So, you know, I think the Panthers are going to be a team that, you know, they get healthy back. You might get J.C. Horn back healthy. You know, and a lot of people had good expectations, high expectations about him coming out of the draft. So, I think the Panthers are going to be a young team to watch. Start to build young talent. We'll see what they'll do here in the draft. But I think they're a young team that's trending in the right direction, to be honest with you.
One trade that we mentioned earlier, but we haven't really delved in to see how it's going to affect the team that got him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, L'Jarius Sneed, you know, again, you know, they had opportunities to draft him, you know, when he was a rookie, and they didn't. But they swapped third-round draft. They sent Kansas City third-round draft pick for next year, but they swapped 7th-round picks with Kansas City this year to acquire L'Jarius Sneed and trade for these. How does this make the Tennessee Titans better?
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans is another team that's trying to add, you know, a lot of veteran pieces. They got Sneed. They got Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys.
That's got another wide receiver too. They got who did they get the wide receiver to go along with DeAndre Hopkins?
I forgot. So yeah, like I said, the question for the Tennessee Titans is going to be what they're going to do at the quarterback position. Is it going to be Will Levis or, you know, that situation? See how that all unfolds. But I feel like, you know, from the defense's perspective, plus they're going to have a brand new coach. So it's like, you know, what's really going to transpire? No more Derrick Henry in Tennessee. But I think they have a lot of talented pieces. Me personally, I just think they're a huge question mark is still at the quarterback position.
Oh well, I mean, you got Will Levis out there.
I mean,
clear. Well,
do you think he's the guy or he's a guy? He's the fill-in.
I think he's the guy. But my thing is, I mean, you have to. Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, he's been there for 10 minutes now. He's been over here for 10 minutes talking to them. We'll take. But if you look at it though, I mean, I think they have upgraded their offense, I believe, and so I think it's going to be really. I think it's going to be again. You only got the weapons that you got, I mean, and so you know, Will had, you know, and Will came in the middle of the season, you know, and he had DeAndre Hopkins and stuff. But I'm saying, if you got you got Tony Pollard. It's going to really piss me off. I can't think of the wide. And for some reason, Mike was it Mike Williams?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you.
I think it was Mike Williams because Keenan Allen is with Chicago. I think it is Mike Williams.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, so now you got another one. I mean, you got more offensive firepower to help you out. You know, what I'm saying, for your second year. So I mean, just like Bryce Young, so you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't put these. Which again, it kills me, man, to where you get these quarterbacks, you get these young quarterbacks, you don't surround them with the weapons that they need, which is why it pained me with Justin Fields, man, to where he's relegated to being a backup in Pittsburgh now. Where like if you would have surrounded him with more than just DJ Moore last year, then they might have won more than 7 games.
Right. Yeah. I agree, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this NFL season plays out with a lot of these moves, man. What Philadelphia's doing, also what Baltimore's doing, and I think there's a second wave of free agency that's gonna happen. So
Second wave. You're talking about
after a draft, when those players when those players get cut, you got that's what the Cowboys are banking on. Those players that get cut and waived to make space for roster space and see if there's quality. But I mean that always happens, right? So you might see a situation where you might be overloaded at one position, so a team might need to make a move and go get another, move a wide receiver on to cut. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things shape out. So.
One of the things that we didn't get a chance to talk about, one thing we didn't just talk about was the odds that Vegas set on the over/under for certain teams. The Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens are all favored to win 11, with all 11.5 and over to win games.
Right.
I think Cleveland Browns and the other teams are 8.5. The Cowboys might be 10.5. Are you surprised, or does it surprise you where some of these odds are for Vegas odds for new teams for next season?
No, honestly, speaking of the Cowboys at 10.5, me personally, and right now, I would slam the under. And Cowboys fans kind of get upset about that, but I think it's kind of right in line where some of these teams are as of now. Now, I think the draft can definitely change things, but I think even right now, the Cowboys are favored to win the division. So
both them and the Eagles are predicted to win 10.5 games.
Yeah. So, so 10.5, so pretty much 11, right? So, it's 3 back-to-back 12 years winning seasons for the Cowboys. I can see it kind of being on that path line. But overall, like I said, I think this NFL season will be a little bit different. One with some of the rule changes, but I think some of the teams are starting to load up to try to compete with what you guys are doing in Kansas City. So you see some teams loading the deck. I'm also really interested to see how Harbaugh is going to transition over from college to the Chargers. So to see how that whole dynamic works out. What is Kellen Moore going to be able to do actually in Philly, how that thing works out. So there's a lot of interesting storylines. And also, something that's kind of exciting, even though, it's our rivals, to see the Philadelphia Eagles open up in Brazil, so, there's a lot of different changes going with the NFL. So
make a small correction. I said Kansas City, Baltimore, and Bengals. It was San Francisco. That's all 3 of those teams are viewed at 11.5.
11.5. Okay.
The teams that are, let's see, you got Cincinnati Bengals there at 10.5, along with the Dallas Cowboys, as well as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. So there's a lot of these teams. Look, Vegas got it right last year, which was shocking as it relates to the Chiefs and their wins. I think the one that's kind of shocked me the most is Atlanta. They're 9.5 point. They're 9.5 projected to win 10 games this season. The Bucks only 8 and 7.5, and along with the Saints as well, 7.5. But yeah, in your division, you got 6.5 for both Washington and New York, and 10.5. So I can't say the Cowboys favorite to win if the other team is 6.5 or 10.5 as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna place any bets on it right now, because if I'd done it last year, I'd have got whooped.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But I want to ask you, Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan, coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, they got rid of Austin Eckler, they got rid of Mike Williams, they got rid of Keenan Allen. They restructured Joey Bosa along with Khalil Mack on their contracts. How do you think he does his rookie year?
I don't know. I honestly, what's the expectations for Harbaugh?
Our guy Sean Merriman is,
what's Sean saying? Let me pipe in Sean.
First of all,
so is he expecting that Jim Harbaugh is about to get them over the hump? Because I don't think that's going to be the case.
He is.
Nah, bro. Nah.
He didn't learn his lesson last year.
It's going to take him a minute to build what he's trying to build.
That's what look, man. Look, I understand being a homer. Yeah, but I'm like, bro, talking about how they're going to sweep the Chiefs. I'm like, bro, we had this conversation last year. And, saying, instead of you buying me $1,000 steak, saying you want to be cheap and take either way and send me $300. Nah, I don't want no. So this time around, tell my running back, I said, all right, man, I ain't gonna let you cash out.
Out early, yeah.
We're gonna go to the most expensive steakhouse in New Orleans, and it's gonna be on and popping. So looking forward to Tim Tszyu supposed to come over here in just a second, and once we finish with him. Yeah. No, once we get him, yeah. Yep. All right, and we are going to be joined by Tim Tszyu,
Tim,
who is the main event. My man, good seeing you again. Sure.
That's good. Yeah. There you go. You're good. You're good. Oof. There we go.
Tim, good seeing you again, man. Got a chance to talk to you last month on Radio Row.
Yeah.
So, again, the fight is less than 48 hours away, man. How's it feel? Your main event, PBC's first ever pay-per-view ever at the T-Mobile Arena for Prime Video. How you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm pumped. Like eager to get it on. Once we weigh in, it's go time, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a switch.
Yeah, so a lot of people are talking about Sebastian's his size advantage over you. What is going to be some of your strategies that you're thinking about to counter that?
Yeah, just be able to eliminate his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's good. He's good at certain punches,
Mm-hmm.
and he makes it awkward. But I feel like he's never fought anyone like me.
Mm-hmm.
And when your chin goes, I think it goes.
Well, again, Mike Tyson always said every puncher has a
plan to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. The face, man, get in the mouth. This fight, again, you trained initially for Keith Thurman and a couple weeks ago. Did it train? I mean, did it make you have to train differently over the last couple of weeks, or did you just keep going through your regular motions?
No. We changed sparring for the last week. Completely changed the tactic. It was funny. Different muscles started working. It's a completely different game plan. Like I was fighting a mover, someone that was going to be moving around, countering someone that's straightforward, who's got a weird shots and who's that tall.
Following up on that, have you ever fought someone with that type of discrepancy, and
No.
what challenges does that bring for you?
The challenge is that he's got these lanky arms that are so long. Like he throws an uppercut and I can't probably reach him with a straight. That's probably the biggest task.
Prime Video, pay-per-view, main event. What do you want people to know about Tim Tszyu, who's seeing you for the first time fight on Saturday?
Fearless and dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm getting that.
Exactly. He's locked in focus. I know a lot of people asking you about Terrence Crawford, your focus on Saturday, but what is it about that fight and the appeal that a lot of people's going to looking forward to?
I think he's never fought a true 154-pounder. Someone that's dangerous in the division, and of course it's a tough task because he's number one pound for pound. But never underestimate me.
Hey, look, and you're undefeated for a reason. So, I mean, that's what we're like. Yeah, he is 24-0, people. 24-0, 17 knockouts. How are you envisioning this fight ending? Are you thinking knockout or
lights out, man? Lights out. Again, his last fight, he got chinned pretty hard, and it's one of those things that you can't just recover.
Fortunately, we got 2 minutes left, so after this, we're going to the sports book. So, so just so you know, I already know where my money's going this weekend. Man. Best of luck to you, Tim. We'll look forward to you seeing the way and see you at the fight this Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Good luck Saturday.
He is the current WBO junior middleweight super welterweight world champion, fighting in the main event this Saturday night PBC pay-per-view live. Here at the T-Mobile Arena.
Looks focused, man. He looks focused.
He's very focused.
He's
focused.
I got to take little extra chips.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. His pops was it. His pops was.
Yes. Tszyu, man.
Tszyu, man. International Boxing Hall of Famer, man.
DNA.
So he gets it honestly, man.
Right.
So, look, man. I want to thank you all for tuning in for us today. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. 12 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock East, or 2 o'clock Kansas City time.
I'm all mixed up.
Yeah, I'm all mixed up. So, Tuck and I, we are out of here. We want to thank you so very much for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so very much, and see you in 21 hours. Peace.